taking over your life.
You look beautiful.
You're pretty.
And your relationships.
You need to get some dating done. Are you psyched about that?
Greg Barrett.
Today, I want to change your life. It's almost a miracle.
Finally, a voice you can relate to.
I think you guys need to talk more because there's a love thing happening here.
The Greg Barrett Show.
Take a look.
Weekdays at 2 on Superstation WGN.
Right there. Just a little bit lower. Oh, perfect.
If only everything worked together to make your life easier. Fortunately, Walgreens offers many convenient services that make getting prescriptions fast and easy.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains and TV's video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
The one you love doesn't know he could be carrying many viruses. Fact, viruses can live on surfaces for days. Lysol disinfectant spray with the power you trust helps stop the spread of viruses. Use it on common household surfaces to kill dangerous viruses like the flu. Lysol is the #1 brand recommended by pediatricians. Lysol, disinfect to protect. Now Lysol has new, clean, fresh fragrances, including new garden mist scent.
Season 1 comes down to the final 2. All top 10 are back. American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
The Leadoff Man is brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
We are live from Wrigley Field, a cool, breezy spring afternoon. The W flag has been flying all weekend, and we're set for the leadoff man on WGN Sports. Today, the surging Cubs look to sweep the Washington Nationals and get back over the 500 mark. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man. The Cubs continue to play their best baseball of the season. They're winning the closer games now, which is what you like to see. A 2-run win on Friday. They did the same yesterday. Rich Hill, the starting pitcher, and got some offense early from the Cubs. Right off the bat in the first inning, Jock Jones with a couple of outs with an RBI single, plating Derek Lee, who extended his hit streak to 13 games. Just like that, the Cubs were on top. They would add on in the third inning. Aramis Ramirez leading off the frame. Pitch was up a little bit. He took it out near the 368 sign, 2-0. John Patterson felt a little soreness in his biceps, so he had to be taken out of the game. It was 3-1 on Matt Merton when he came out. Laval Spigner came in and could not find the strike zone. Mark DeRosa walking with the bases loaded. Rich Hill getting his first career RBI. Another walk with the bases full. And then Ryan Theriot as well. So the Cubs added on, scoring 4 times in the third inning. That gave Rich Hill really all he needed, a 5-0 lead. He would give up 1 run in the 6th inning, but a good 94-pitch outing for Rich Hill. He allowed 1 run, 1 walk, struck out 4. And some good defense here. And this is when things are going well. You make catches like this. The guys in the middle, DeRosa and Theriot, coming in on a pop-up. Out of the glove of DeRosa, Theriot making the catch on that Dimitri Young pop. And then the final out. Ryan Dempster continues to be perfect. He is 7 out of 7. Matt Merton with a catch, and the Cubs with a nice 5-3 win. So Rich Hill is now 4-1 on the year. John Patterson takes the loss. And again, Ryan Dempster with save number 7. Who's the ace of this staff at this point? Well, Carlos Zambrano went into the year as the Cubs opening day starter, but he has a lot of competition now, and that's a good thing. We'll talk with one of the Cubs' great lefties, Rich Hill, when we come back to Wrigley.
Don't play hard to get with a man who's hard to get.
On the next Sex in the City.
We have nothing in common. He's in and out of Europe.
That could be good.
You got yourself a man, a real power player.
When it comes to men, even when we try to keep it light, how do we wind up in the dark?
Smith, he's hot, but he's a baby.
Cool.
You need a grown-up.
On the next Sex and the City.
Tonight at 11 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Chase Freedom. It feels like no other credit card in the world. And it works like no other card, too. Feel free to choose cash back. And then change to points. And then change again, all with the same card and without losing a thing. That's freedom. Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Some guys like to relax in a leather recliner. Some guys like an overstuffed sofa. But to others, there's nothing better than cardboard on cold, hard concrete. Valvoline, 100 years under the hood. Now, for a limited time, buy 5 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil and get a free pair of mechanics wear gloves valued at over $24.
Well, the young fans looking for an autograph today, and Darryl Ward obliging as the Cubs seek their first 5-game winning streak since the middle of the 2005 season. Rich Hill again with his 4th win yesterday, and you have Ted Lilly, Rich Hill, Jason Marquis. Carlos Zambrano's pitched better as of late. You loved what he did after the first inning on Friday. Angel Guzman will jump into the rotation today. The starting pitching has been a strength of this club. I had a chance to sit down with the Cubs lefty, Rich Hill, a little earlier. Well, Rich, in reading the reports after the game, it sounded like maybe you didn't have your best stuff yesterday, but you pitched extremely well. I think everybody takes that as a very good sign. Is that the way you look at it?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are games that you go out there, you feel like you get a battle, and you come out on the other end of it.
Now, last year, going down to the minor leagues and coming back and pitching so well, as you think about that odyssey, and I know that's not something you like to talk about the past very much, but how about that process, and when you went back down, continued to pitch well at AAA, and then came back and really got it at this level?
Yeah, to go back down there and work with Alan Dunn was a great help to be able to build up consistency, and with the consistency came the confidence, and then up here with the success came more confidence, and to be able to come up here and pitch the way I did the second half really helped with the confidence.
And along those lines, was this a different offseason for you, considering the success you had late last year in the big leagues?
Well, I think every offseason you start to put together your own program, and as you get closer to the season, you know where you're going to be going into spring training, so you adjust it. It's more so adjusting your throwing program than anything else. So this year I took a little bit more time to give myself a little more rest, because I threw more innings than I have in years past. So just little adjustments here and there, and they helped out.
I think the semantics for a pitcher are very interesting, because your job is to prevent the other team from scoring. But as a pro athlete, you don't want to go in saying, I don't want to not allow or use negative thoughts, correct?
Right, yeah, that's all negative, don'ts, I can't, things that you're struggling with, and you always try to find the positive in everything. And if you have a bad outing, it's what can I get better on, what can I improve on, as opposed to I did this bad, I didn't do this right. Acknowledge it, but don't let it fester within you, and when that's over with, it's over with, and move on to the next game.
Was that a tough transition to kind of get through that sort of mental part of the game for you?
Yeah, because there were a lot of times that success wasn't coming, to go out and fail over and over again. It was a great teacher, though, to be able to go out there and fail and learn from that.
Last thing, working with Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach here, and also Michael Barrett and Henry Blanco, your catchers.
Absolutely. Those three guys have been key to, I think, not just myself, but the entire pitching staff. They've done a great job going out there with Michael and Henry calling the games, and Larry, the days in between, keeping our heads focused and making sure that we concentrate on what we need to do on that fifth day.
All right, it's been fun to watch you pitch, as always, and keep it rolling. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Well, remember, it took Rich a while to get his first big league win. Angel Guzman looking for that today. Maybe there's a parallel, and he'll just keep it going as he comes back to the big leagues.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it. Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. Then there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, and as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Pearl, you never have to have sex again except for when you actually want to.
On the next Scrubs, Turk and Carla are finally getting married.
Ted, go to church. We do mostly bar mitzvahs.
But will it go off without a glitch?
Turk got held up in surgery.
Dr. Turk, what do you think we should do?
Leave a post-it in there for the next guy? And Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Well, we knew about Angel Guzman coming back to the big leagues. Ugly numbers at AAA. The Cubs hoping he pitches like he did here in relief earlier. Ronnie Cedeno sent out, so he's optioned to AAA Iowa with Mark DeRosa, Ryan Theriot, and Cesar as tourists. The Cubs feel like they're okay right now in the middle of their infield. That means Felix P.A. stays in the big leagues for now. So Guzman back in the big leagues looking for his first major league win. And the Nationals go with a right-hander with a power sinker, Sean Hill, 2-1 with a 296 in 4 road starts this year. Should be exciting. We'll see what transpires today as Hill and Guzman match up. The Cubs hosting the Washington Nationals next.
The Leadoff Man has been brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
What the world needs now is love.
Weeknights at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
And everywhere I go,
always something to remind me of another place and time.
Come spring and summer, our yard is our family room. We sleep in there, but we definitely live out here.
I really just like the feeling of the grass.
We like a healthy lawn, and it's got to be durable, and our lawn really is both.
A healthy lawn means that we can get out there, feel comfortable in the grass.
We use Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. It feeds the lawn, and it kills dandelions.
We hate dandelions. We don't like to have them around.
I got some good old-fashioned grass stains on my pants. That's a sign of a good day. We had a lot of fun. I want to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's our Scott's lawn.
Season 1 comes down to the final 2. All top 10 are back. American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Well, the season starts now, apparently. The Cubs are back to 500, 14-14. They'll try to get over 500 for the first time since very early in the season. And we're set for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. They go for the 3-game sweep as they take on the Washington Nationals. That's where we are. You just saw us from behind. Hey, what's going on? Len and Bob with you here, and the theme of our open is welcome back. We'll start with the record. They're back to 500, and we don't want to talk about 500 much more after today.
Well, you'd like to keep moving and start talking in increments of 10 games above 500, but the Cubs are where they need to be after the slow start. It takes a while to get back to even, but that's where they are right now. It's been a really good run over the last week.
And also welcome back to Derek Lee, in a sense, getting back to his 2005 form.
Yeah, that was really his breakout season. Derek Lee was a good player before that. He became a great player in 05. And once you know what it takes to become a great player, it's much easier to repeat that kind of performance. And Derek's looked like he's going to do it again this year.
The John Sebastian song said your dream was your ticket out. But for Angel Guzman, it's the dream is your ticket back to the big leagues. He's here.
And he's hoping to have the same kind of success that he had out of the bullpen earlier this season. He didn't do so well down in Iowa as a starter. He said the hitters down there were too tough because they just hacked at everything he threw up there. Hopefully he'll be able to set up these Washington National hitters and get some out pitches.
You believe in momentum, right? And we saw some things yesterday where it went the Cubs' way, and maybe a week or two ago it wouldn't have.
Mojo. I believe in mojo. And yesterday, a few things happened that maybe a couple of weeks ago would have turned out disasters for the Cubs. They worked in their favor yesterday.
It's a Sunday, so we're going to enjoy God Bless America before our national anthem. pitch is set for Cubs baseball today. They seek a 5-game win streak and the sweep. We'll have the lineups and all the action from the friendly confines coming up.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
Don't play hard to get with a man who's hard to get.
On the next Sex and the City.
We have nothing in common. He's in and out of Europe.
That could be good.
You got yourself a man, a real power player.
When it comes to men, even when we try to keep it light, how do we wind up in the dark?
Smith, he's hot, but he's a baby.
Cool.
You need a grown-up.
On the next Sex and the City.
Tonight at 11 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood Aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
For years, man has known about the advantage of twin blades.
Smooth.
Now there's the twin blade advantage from Honda. Twin blades mean finer clippings when mulching to feed your lawn. They also mean more bagging capacity and less emptying. And of course, Honda means it's built to last. The twin blade advantage, exclusively on Honda mowers.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
A happy, get this, 63rd wedding anniversary. Jimmy and Eleanor Farrell. Jimmy, one of our favorites at the ballpark. We see Eleanor every day after the ball game, and she's been in a really good mood lately because the Cubs have won 4 in a row. Jimmy works in the umpire room, and again, just puts a smile on everybody's face when you talk to Jimmy Farrell.
Oh, absolutely. Jimmy is big around the ballpark here. I bet Eleanor would like to go to that umpire's room sometimes to give them a piece of her mind. She is a big-time Cub fan and doesn't like it when things don't go their way.
Now today's broadcast of Chicago Cubs baseball from Wrigley Field on WGN Sports, presented in high definition, sponsored by Comcast, and brought to you in 5.1 Dolby surround sound. Let's check out the Washington Nationals starting lineup. They've dropped 4 in a row. Felipe Lopez starting at second base. Ryan Langerhans gets the start in center. Zimmerman, Church, Kearns, Brian Schneider back in the lineup. Corey Castos at first base today. Josh Wilson at short, and Sean Hills on the mound.
And let's take a look at the Cubs defensively today behind the starter Angel Guzman. Brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Jock Jones, and Mark DeRosa getting the start in right field today. Ramirez is Torres, Terrio, and Lee across the infield. Michael Barrett will be behind the plate for right-hander Angel Guzman. For DeRosa, his 3rd start in right field this season. Get a look at Guzman's numbers in AAA Iowa.
He jumps into that 5th starter spot, previously occupied by Wade Miller, who was on the disabled list. Wade did throw another bullpen session today. He pitched off the mound Friday and got back up there today. There's is a strike. Well, we mentioned this game presented in high definition and 5.1 Dolby surround sound. There it is, right into your living room. Frank Leone handling the audio board in our truck, and that got his attention big time.
Got my attention. Got a flashback there. Those used to hit me right in the middle of the bars of the mast.
You going to be okay?
I think I'll be all right.
All right. Ground ball right back to Guzman. He'll get it to Lee, and that's the first out. That'll get a pitcher into the game.
Yeah, that gets you involved right away. You know, I mentioned Guzman said it was tough to pitch down in AAA because the hitters were just hacking at everything he threw up there. And you'll hear that a lot from major league pitchers when they go down on rehab assignments, coming back from an injury, and they send them to AAA to get a couple of starts, and how it's almost impossible to set up a young hitter. They're just up at the plate looking for something close to that strike zone they can hack at. So it's not always indicative of how well a guy pitched or how poorly a guy pitched, looking at his numbers in the minor leagues when he's had success at the big league level.
Langerhans with his third team already this year. The Braves, the Oakland Athletics, and now the Nationals. He's 3 for 51 overall with a double and 1 RBI. Fouled back. Good heat from Guzman. Was talking with a scout before the ball game, and he told me that one of Angels' relief outings earlier in the year, so it was the best stuff he had seen all season.
Wow. Well, Lou raved about Angel Guzman stuff down in Arizona, and it's tough to get your ball to move much down in the desert, and Angel had great movement on that sinker. Slider was very consistent around the edges of the strike zone. Well, you know, the Nationals very nearly violated the 4 Ryan rule in the lineup today. Langerhans, Zimmerman, and Church hitting back to back to back, all named Ryan. One more, and you could file a protest.
The 4 Ryan rule?
Yeah.
Three balls, 2 strikes on one of the Ryans. Swing and a miss. Guzman strikes him out. So the first of 3 straight Ryans goes down swinging.
You know, Ryan's trying. Well, that's just a sinker right down the heart of the plate. Good tailing movement right there. You know, sometimes when Guzman really gets on top of that sinker, that's when you'll see the downward movement on the sink. That time that ball was a little flatter, more of a tailing fastball than a sinking fastball.
Larry Rothschild back with the club. Missed the game yesterday. His son Scott had his first communion in Florida. So the Cubs 1-0 with Lester Strode as their pitching coach.
And don't think that Lester didn't make a note of that.
Gerald Perry, the Cubs hitting coach, away again today. His daughter's graduating from college. So we hope to see Gerald back here on Tuesday night when the Cubs open up a series against the Pirates. Now, your 3 Ryan rule, I should point out there is a Brian in the lineup. That doesn't count, though, right?
Technically, no.
Okay. Fouled back by Zimmerman. The Nationals continuing a streak they'd like to end. They have not won a series all year, so even if they win today's ball game, they still will not have won at least 2 of 3 in a series.
Well, not a lot of reason for optimism for the Nationals. However, the guy they have on the hill today, Sean Hill, has been their best starting pitcher through the early going this season.
Guzman ready, and a 2-2 pitch on the way, fouled back. Ryan Zimmerman, 5 for his last 12. He had 3 hits yesterday. The Nationals made it a ball game after the Cubs led 5-0. They made it 5-3, and in the 8th inning were threatening with the tying runs in scoring position, but Neil Kotz with a couple of big strikeouts to get out of it. And Lou had another quick conversation with one of his pitchers, and the theme has really been the same, hasn't it? Trust your stuff, be aggressive, throw strikes.
Throw strikes.
With a few other words thrown in. But the message was received. Called strike 3. Good start for Angel. Back in the big leagues. He fans to him at first. Now the Cubs offense will go to work when we return.
I love the way you've decorated in here.
Want to get away? Now you can. Hurry. We've extended our internet sale. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Chicago Midway to the Midwest for just $49. Purchased by May 17th.
You are now free to move about the country.
In the beginning, we knew them only as nourishment. Over time, they were mixed and called ingredients. We exposed the corn and tomatoes to fire and glazed the chicken with cilantro and lime. We added poblano pepper and tortilla strips. And that's how the McDonald's Southwest salad came to be. I love history.
Take me out to insurance. Take me to savings online. Auto insurance that's hassle-free. When you buy it instantly, let me quote, buy with that insurance. If you don't save, it's a shame. For it's $100, $200, $300 you can save with the insurance name.
Save time and money on your auto insurance at Esurance.
Felix P.A. on the bench today, but always brings energy to the ballpark. Happy with what Angel did in the top of the first inning. Now here's Lou Pinella's lineup against Sean Hill, brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Terrio playing second, Lee at first, Ramirez at third. Jock Jones has been hot in this series. Mark DeRosa in right for Cliff Floyd. More on that later. Barrett, Izturis, and Guzman. And we'll get the Nationals defense here momentarily. Soriano takes a pitch away. Ball one.
I get the biggest kick out of that. You know, guys can't get the signs on the field, you know, bunt, steal, hit and run, but they can remember 24 different handshakes.
Hit hard up the middle, backhanded play by Lopez, and he throws out Alfonso.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Nationals defensively. Ryan Church, Ryan Langerhans, and Austin Kearns across the outfield. Ryan Zimmerman, Josh Wilson, Felipe Lopez, and Corey Casto across the infield. Brian Schneider will be doing the catching today for the right-hander Sean Hill. I mentioned he's been the best starting pitcher for the Nationals through the early going, compared very favorably to Arizona Diamondbacks Cy Young winner Brandon Webb. Hard, heavy sinker. Scouting report says he keeps the ball down around the knees. Mix in an occasional slider. Sometimes he'll change the tilt on the slider, make it more like a curve.
So knowing that everything is down, and if you have a big spot first and third with one out, you need a run. How do you approach him as a hitter?
Against any sinker ball pitcher who was around the plate consistently, I always felt the hit and run was the way to go. If you just try to play station to station baseball, you're going to hit into a lot of double plays.
Lopez with a catch as Terrio shattered his bat.
I mean, that's something we used to have great success against Greg Maddux, because you knew he was going to throw sinkers, you knew he was going to throw strikes, and if you didn't get the runners in motion, you were going to end up hitting into a lot of double plays. And certainly the scouting report on Sean Hill would indicate the same thing. Get the runners moving, stay out of the double plays.
2 outs, nobody on, and that's what Sean Hill wants to do all day against Derek Lee. 13-game hit streak, 28-game on base streak. And he comes in at .416. Drives that ball on the ground into left. But he's joined Alfonso Soriano. They both hit in 14 in a row. Soriano has a chance for 15 today. Just get it out of the way right off the bat, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get on base.
I talked about Derek Lee's breakthrough season in '05 when he really took that next step, went from being a very good player to a great player. And when you become a great player, basically it's because you find a way to eliminate lengthy slumps. You may go a game or two without driving the ball, without getting a base hit, but you figure it out quickly and get right back on track.
One strike on Ramirez. He hit his 6th home run in game 2. .202 in his career. And this came right after Austin Kearns thought he had gotten all of what would have been a grand slam, but he stayed in the park.
That's one of those instances you were talking about in the open. You know, when things are going bad, it's the reverse. Austin Kearns' ball gets in the basket and Ramirez comes up short, but yesterday it was reversed in favor of the Cubs.
And the bottom line is you make your own breaks in this game, and the Cubs have been able to do that really since coming from behind in that suspended game in Pittsburgh. I really think that several weeks, maybe months down the road, we're going to look back at that game as one of the biggest of the year. Ground ball to third base. Easy play for Zimmerman. And the Cubs are done in the 1st inning. Derek Lee with a 2-out hit, no runs. We're scoreless to the 2nd.
Messing with the wrong guy. We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
Whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The pilot from Honda.
Waffles and soft serve are hooking up? Huh. I hooked up once. She was an ear. Wow. They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve. In the chocolate-covered strawberry waffle bowl sundae at Dairy Queen. Do one.
Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
I'm so ready for the show. Bring it on.
American Idol Season 1 comes down to the final 2. Justin,
I think Kelly's gonna win.
everybody's divided. All top 10 are back. With exclusive interviews.
It's the best time of my life.
I'm so happy for them.
And just how close did Kelly and Justin really get?
I think that we made a good pair up there.
American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Second inning from Wrigley. 56 degrees at game time, and the wind out of the southeast at 6. Kind of blowing from right to left. As Ryan Church fouls away. Go Cubs. Happy belated Cinco de Mayo. Cubs celebrated it with a 5-3 win on Saturday.
I know a lot of people whose heads swelled up so bad they couldn't get their hats off this morning.
Hold on the ground foul past former Cub Jerry Morales. Too early in Angel Guzman's career to make any determinations on what he is. But as a starter, 0-6 with a .928 in 10 starts. As a reliever in 9 appearances, a 1.74 earned run average. Again, it's still very early, a very small sample size. But he'd like to pitch a lot better as a starter, which is what most guys want to do, and that's what he wants to do in his big league career. Still 0-2 the count on Ryan Church. Austin Kearns and then Brian Schneider here in the second. Cubs are in second in the Central. 5 back of Milwaukee. The Brewers have won their last 2. They're 20-10. Best record in the majors. Inside, good heat again from Guzman.
You bring up that point about how much more effective Guzman has been as a relief pitcher, and you know, he wants to be a starter. There's no question that's what he would prefer to do. But part of your job as a manager is to figure out how it all best fits together, and some guys, because of the success they've had, because of their body style, because of the resiliency of their arm, are just better suited to pitch out of the bullpen.
Lou is very happy with the way his team is playing currently, but he also says there's room for improvement.
Well, that's the approach you have to take regardless of where you're at in the standings. Even if you are undefeated at this point of the season, I'm sure there are things that you feel you can always get better at, things that you can do more consistently.
How about this battle here as Ryan Church keeps hanging in? 8 pitches already.
Well, pitch count wouldn't figure to be a problem today for Angel Guzman. I'm sure he's more on an effectiveness count than a pitch count.
Well struck, sending Jones back toward the warning track. He has enough room. 1 out. Let's meet today's Celebrity Bat Kids, brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. 15-year-old Catherine Stibe, well, I guess we're going to do a switch here. From Chicago, Jack Fritz, 8 years old, from St. Joseph, Illinois, having a great day at Wrigley. Thanks to our friends at Walgreens. And for information and official rules of the Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids sweepstakes, go to WGNradio.com.
Yeah, see, because of our graphic, we didn't really get a good look at Jack there, so we had to move him over on the other side. It's easier to move the kids than to move the graphic.
The graphic was on the Fritz, so to speak. Here's Austin Kearns. And the 1-0 from Guzman catches the inside part of the plate, according to the home plate umpire Dale Scott. He's the crew chief in his 22nd season. From Eugene, Oregon. Paul Emmel at first, Dan Iassogna at second, Ron Culpa at third.
You know, Len, before every series, teams go over the advance report, and there's usually 1 or 2 hitters in the opposing lineup that you tell yourself, we don't want this guy to beat us. And I think with this Nationals ball club, the way they're configured right now, Austin Kearns is the guy who has the potential to beat you with 1 swing of the bat. Look at it.
Potential to hurt you.
Maybe beat those people in the front row down there.
Good thing for that barrier. Everybody in the front row ducking for cover as Kearns lost the handle.
Yeah, and I say that because Kearns is a guy that's looking to jerk a ball out of the ballpark to left field in just about every count. Now, the rest of the hitters in this Washington lineup, especially with 2 strikes, they'll give in a little bit. They'll just try to put the ball in play. Kearns is steady trying to hit the ball in the seats.
Now, the left-handed hitting catcher Brian Schneider. You know, he and Michael Barrett are pretty tight. They used to share duties when they were with the Expos. But it's all business when you get on the field. There may be a little tap on the shin pads, your first at bat, but after that, it's all business.
I remember when Michael Barrett and Brian Schneider were playing together up in Montreal. You could see even back then that both these guys had the chance to be real good major league players.
Yeah, the reason they're still not together is that they were both good enough to be everyday players. You would rate Michael higher on the offensive scale, and Schneider one of the best defenders behind the plate in baseball. No score.
Pearl, you never have to have sex again except for when you actually want to.
On the next Scrubs, Turk and Carla are finally getting married.
Church. We do mostly bar mitzvahs.
But will it go off without a glitch?
Turk got held up in surgery.
Dr. Turk, what do you think we should do?
Leave a post-it in there for the next guy.
And Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. Then there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, in as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports from beautiful Wrigley Field is brought to you by Budweiser. Born in America, enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Nicely done as Jock Jones starts the inning. We're in the second. And no score. Jock playing center. Mark DeRosa's in right. Cliff Floyd is back, bothering him a little bit. Would be available if needed to pinch hit. Henry Blanco's neck is feeling better. That's good news. And with the roster move today, as Henry watches from the bench, there was some speculation maybe Felix P.A. would be sent out. Instead, it was Ronnie Cedeno. Backhanded by Lopez, and he throws to first. So P.A. stays in the big leagues for now. And Guzman back. Ronnie Cedeno sent to Iowa. Felix hasn't been playing a lot as a starter, but he has been very valuable off the bench as a pinch runner, and particularly on defense.
And when you consider that pinch running role, especially with Darryl Ward, a guy that's used as a pinch hitter, if the game happens to be close or tied late, you definitely want a pinch run for him. So with the lead that the Cubs have had late in the ball game, coupled with the pinch running opportunities that he's had for Darryl Ward, PA's seen quite a bit of playing time.
And with a prospect like Felix, you always have to balance the issue of how valuable will he be on our bench, and are we setting him back if we don't send him back to Iowa to play every day. And, you know, that'll probably be a weekly, if not twice weekly conversation that Lou Piniella and Jim Hendry and the Cubs front office will have. They want to keep Felix's best interests in mind, but the bottom line is he can help this team win right now, and that's the #1 goal.
Yeah, that does become very much a balancing act, as you said. The bottom line is winning games at the major league level, and if you think Felix P.A. can be part of that and be a valuable part of that, well, then he's more valuable right here than he is in Iowa playing every day. If he becomes an unnecessary piece that you're really struggling to find playing time for, well, you know, then it's probably more likely that he'll be sent back to Iowa to play every day, get his 4 or 5 at-bats, and continue to climb up that ladder till eventually he will be an everyday center fielder in the major leagues.
He's sitting next to one of his best friends, Alfonso Soriano. They have gotten along famously since the start of spring training. And Felix with a little extra padding, but the hat and the hood today, as he banged his head in excitement 2 days ago, that very low ceiling in the dugout. We taped our podcast in the dugout today talking about that very issue. And thankfully, neither of us had that problem. But there's not a lot of room. The key is to take a step down and stand up and kind of go out toward the field if you want to jump in excitement.
Yeah, get all the way down to the floor of the dugout before you jump into the air. You see that step where the players have their feet. If you stand up on that step, obviously there's not enough room unless you're really, really short.
Check out our updated podcast coming up on WGNTV.com. Two to Barrett, and he shoots that one into right center. So Michael is on base. By the way, Michael hosting an event at Geno's East tonight, and all the proceeds will benefit Project 3000. And stop on by. It begins at 7 o'clock if you're downtown.
Good approach against a sinker ball pitcher. Try to stay inside the ball, keep the barrel of the bat flat through the strike zone, and hit the ball the opposite field. Michael Barrett does all of those things successfully right there.
So the hits have come with 2 outs. The Lee single in the first, and Barrett with a base hit in the second. As Torres fouling away, 1 strike. Cesar trying to get it going, particularly left-handed. He's hitting just 172 from this side of the plate. Torres, 27 years old, from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. Blowing inside. It's great to see cameraman Mark Clausen back working and feeling a lot better. Working the camera down behind third base. Pulled into right. Barrett is going to make the turn. And they're at the corners. That'll bring up the pitcher, Guzman.
The slight overshift by Austin Kearns in right field allowed Michael Barrett to go first and third on this. Just a clean single into right field, pretty much straightaway right field, but because Kearns was shaded over into the gap, he had a long run to get to that ball. You'll see where he had to come from. Anytime you get an outfielder moving laterally to go after a ball, it's pretty safe to go ahead and take the next base.
Angel with 2 career RBIs. He was going to try to bunt his way on. I'm not even sure if his feet were in the batter's box when that ball crossed the plate. He was moving around a lot.
And apparently Michael Barrett had been given a heads up that Guzman may bunt for a base hit. Some pitchers will alert the third base coach when they're in the on-deck circle. Hey, I might drop one down. Michael was coming down that line hard at third base, had to slam on the brakes.
Angel has the left foot kind of goes out and back away from the pitcher, as we say, stepping in the bucket as he gets ready to hit.
Oh, he's deep in the bucket.
Watch that front foot. 2-1.
Well, he's got that inside part of the plate covered. Anything from the middle of the plate away, he has no chance. The pitchers will talk about getting a pitch in the middle of my bailout. That's a fastball that tails back over the inside part of the plate like that.
Gloved by Zimmerman, and he throws out Guzman, and the Cubs lead 2. Third inning coming up next, 0-0.
Season 1 comes down to the final 2. All top 10 are back. American Idol Rewind.
Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Plan on making this worth my while?
Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
The 6th annual Meet the Team Have a Ball is Tuesday, May 29th. Chicago Cubs. Tickets are $300 each. All proceeds benefit Cubs Care. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. Corey Casto's playing first base, and he lifts it in the air to right center. Mark DeRosa is there, and that's the first out. I want to underscore what you talked about earlier, in that sometimes facing AAA hitters can be a challenge that you don't expect, because it's hard to set them up, right? And they're more aggressive, and you go down there to work on some things, and it's not always that easy.
And you don't have the same kind of advanced scouting. You don't have videotape available, all the things that a pitcher would go through in preparation for a start here at the major league level. You know, in the minor leagues, you just show up, put your uni on, go warm up, and here we go. And the hitters are extremely aggressive, especially the lower you go in the minor leagues. You'll see guys hacking at just about anything airborne.
Because if you look at the numbers, you would say to yourself, how did it happen? Just over 10 innings, 14 hits. He gave up 14 runs. Derek Lee will take it by himself and retires Josh Wilson. He walked 6, hit a batter, did have 7 strikeouts, so a 12.19 ERA in 3 starts. So 3 starts, he went under 11 innings. He's almost through 3, has retired all 8 to start the game today. Go figure.
Go figure.
But was really good in relief before he got sent out. And the only reason he was demoted to Iowa on April 17th because of the injury to Alfonso Soriano. Alfonso was not put on the disabled list, but the Cubs needed a center fielder, so they brought up Felix Pa. And they had to send out a pitcher. And based on what you and I have discussed with Lou Piniella about how he likes to construct a team and what he has here, my guess is the Cubs are going to be with 12 pitchers for a long time this season. Ideally, you would like to have 11 if you were versatile enough with your bench. The Cubs have a lot of outfielders, but again, they're all usable parts.
A decision on how many pitchers to carry a lot of times is predicated on your starters. How deep can your starters get in the ball game on a consistent basis?
The 2-1 to Sean Hill. Check swing, and what a snag by Guzman. He went way up to get it. If it gets over his head, it's probably a hit because it wasn't going very fast. So Guzman helping his own cause with a nice defensive play using all of his 6'3", and wow, showing some good hops.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Hurry, we've extended our internet sale. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to cities in California for just $129.
You are now free to move about the country.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
What does every man want 7 nights a week?
Baseball.
Beers. Super Bowl Sunday.
Basketball. Foosball. Cigars.
The smell of high karate.
The pay-per-view fight.
And the Zaza Zoo.
Yeah, they've got that.
Why don't you just take off your dress and kill me now?
Sex in the City, now 7 nights a week.
Oh, honey, I can't wait any longer.
Is it just a chick show? I don't think so.
Want some?
Weeknights at 11 on Superstation WGN. America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Top of the order here for the Cubs. Alfonso Soriano looks at strike one from Sean Hill. Angel Guzman perfect through the lineup the first time. A terrific defensive play to get out of that inning with no base runners.
Yeah, I agree with you, Len. That was going to be a tough play for either middle infielder, especially if Guzman just gets a piece of that ball and knocks it down behind the mound. From our Southwest RoboCam, you can see that Guzman went up the ladder, used every bit of that leather, snow coned the ball in the very end of the fingertips to make the play.
Cubs making room for him in the far corner of the dugout.
Thousand-yard stare.
The 0-2 from Hill is fouled back.
That's one of the rare times you'll see Sean Hill elevate a pitch. I talked about the scouting report in his previous starts leading up to today. Just never missed up above the belt. Pounded that sinker down low, around the knees, below the knees, trying to get those ground balls.
Foul pop. Schneider just doesn't have room. Sean Hill is from Mississauga, Ontario, southwest of Toronto, and his hometown has been recognized for being the safest city in Canada.
There you go.
There you have it. You learn something new every day. Played his first season of Little League in a cast because of a broken leg. He played first base and hit ninth.
Just plant the cast on the base, I guess.
Well, would you want to plant the healthy leg on first?
Yeah, probably the bad.
Yeah, probably would.
You can see why the comparison has been made, as I mentioned before, with Brandon Webb from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just a power sinker, just continues to pound it in there. Throws it on both sides of the plate, as he demonstrated right there to Alfonso Soriano on a called strike 3. A sinker that started just off of the outside corner and tailed it back onto the corner. You can see Brian Schneider caught that ball way up in the webbing of his catcher's mitt, leaving the rest of the mitt in the strike zone. It's a little trick that catchers can do, especially if a pitcher has good command. You can use every bit of that mitt to try to make the pitches appear better than they really are.
Terrio scoots one on the ground, and Lopez has had a lot of action at second base. Felipe began the year as their second baseman, but on opening day, Christian Guzman got hurt. So did Nook Logan, their center fielder. Those two guys are ready to come off the disabled list. Logan with a foot injury. Guzman a left hamstring. So Lopez back at second. Guzman will slide in as short. And Ryan Church also back over to left field today. So the Nationals kind of getting everybody situated. And they're going to have to make a couple of roster moves probably tomorrow. 1 ball, no strikes on Derek Lee. A single is first trip. Low and away. The Cubs went 10-14 in the first month. They have begun May 4-0. The last time the Cubs began May 5-0, 1937. Wilson over to Castro, and that's a 1-2-3 third for Sean Hill. Still no runs for either club.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel. I'm free to do what I want. Or feel free to choose cash back. I'm free. Then feel free to change back again. In the old time. Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Yes, it's time to vacation, Dollar Millionaire style. Road trip! With outstanding McDonald's fries and outlandish legroom, this cabin is first class all the way.
Oh, these people don't fly coach, but they're pretty fly.
They're also decked out with decadent double cheeseburgers and other dollar menu delicacies. No, they don't need a 5-star hotel. They've got 5 million.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains and TV as video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out. Go!
Nothing, fourth inning. Wind coming in just a little bit off the lake, starting out of the southeast. Really, the weather conditions haven't mattered a whole lot. The starting pitchers have been dominating. You could have the wind blowing out, but if you're hitting your spots, you can get outs. His tourist ranges to his left and throws out Lopez. Thanks to Rich Hill for joining us on the leadoff man today, and I asked him about the semantics of being a pitcher in the big leagues. Your job is to prevent the other team from doing something. Don't let them score. Don't let them get on base. But Rich doesn't think that way, and I think some of the best pitchers look at pitching a little bit differently than we would up here in the booth. And you and I have talked about the approach. You don't want to say, don't let this guy do this or that, or don't throw it here. You say, this is what we want you to do, correct?
This is what you can do. Yeah, you don't want to plant any kind of a negative thought in a pitcher's mind. He's got enough to worry about out there just throwing his pitches and trying to hit his spots. Clean base hit into left field by Zimmerman, or rather Langerhans, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, when you go to the mound to talk to a pitcher, you can go out there and say, don't throw this guy a fastball. Don't leave a breaking ball up over the middle of the plate, and that immediately plants a negative thought in his mind. I can't do that if I want to have success. You're better served saying, here's what you can do. Throw your fastball low and away. If you get ahead, bounce the breaking ball in the dirt. And those are positive things that hopefully a pitcher can use to his advantage. And I think it speaks highly of Rich Hill's maturity that he's come to the realization very early in his career of what he needs to do mentally to be successful. There's no question physically he has the gift, but he has figured out mentally what he needs to do to be at his best. I commend him for that.
And I joked with him after the interview. I said, you were not boring today. But I did say earlier that it was a compliment that he has become more boring in interviews. By that I meant all he'll talk about is his next start, his next opponent. He's very focused on the here and now and doesn't like to talk too much about the big picture. And I think it's maybe even more important for a guy like Rich to talk that way because he's very intelligent, very intellectual. And sometimes, as you know, Bob, your brain can get in the way of success in this game. And it seems like Rich has kind of decided, you know what, I'm not going to look at the papers. I'm not going to get on the computer, see what everybody else is doing. All he cares about is who am I pitching against my next start and focus on those hitters, and that's it. Well, that's not easy to do.
No, it isn't easy to do. There's an old joke in baseball. You know, a manager will ask a player what happened on that play. And as soon as he says, well, I thought, hey, don't think you're killing the ball club. You know, you just go out there and play the game. Be prepared. Do your scouting ahead of time. Have an idea of what your game plan is going in. And then just go out there and be dumb. See the ball, react to the ball, make your pitches. Don't try to overthink what you're doing. And certainly don't dwell on the past because you cannot change that.
So Langerhans, the first base runner against Guzman, who retired the opening 10 hitters of the ballgame. And it's 2-1 on Zimmerman.
You see the reaction of Angel Guzman there. That was a pretty good curveball. He thought he should have had a called strike. Rolled it right over the middle of the plate, middle of the thighs. That's a pitch you're glad to get away with, but he thought he should have had the call.
So see if anybody talks about any struggles you had as a big leaguer, you just say I was too smart.
I was way too smart. That must have been it. That's my excuse for today. Well, you know, you talk to hitters who are in a hot streak, you know, 10-game, 12-game hitting streak, getting 2 or 3 hits every ball game. And you hear the same kind of things. They're not really thinking. They're just seeing the ball and reacting to it. Sometimes they won't even know what the pitch was that they hit. And that is the ideal state of mind for a baseball player. Don't overthink it. Just see it and react to what you see.
Still 2-2 on Zimmerman.
I mean, you can get caught up in that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks I'm going to throw a breaking ball here, so I'll trick him. Well, that's when you got smoke coming out of your ears and you end up making a bad pitch, and next thing you know, you're in the showers wondering what happened.
Oh, man. Could not get the call on the curve. It's 3-2.
A couple of real good breaking balls. I mean, forget the fact he didn't get the call here. This is a good pitch. Starts right in the middle of the plate, belt high, and just dive bombs to that outside corner. I don't know where that one missed.
See if Langerhans runs and Guzman tosses over. Just to remind him he hasn't forgotten about it.
Well, that's one aspect of Angel's game that will have to improve if he indeed does become a full-time starting pitcher. He's a little lax at holding the base runners over there at first base.
There he goes, ball 4. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. On the blog today, BB has a post about the Cubs penmen and their success pitching inside. I also have a post about Ryan Dempster and why the Cubs are playing well at the moment. Game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. Ron Santos' welcome back version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game from Friday. And also, if you missed it, my interview with Alfonso Soriano on the leadoff man from Friday available. It's all on WGNTV.com. Click on the link for Len and Bob's blog. some point, maybe tomorrow, you can check out Rich Hill's interview as well.
Well, once again, Michael Bear with a quick trip to the mound. Offer some encouragement to Angel Guzman. Maybe let him know the first couple pitches of the sequence he wants to see here to Ryan Church. Michael has really taken a more hands-on approach to this pitching staff this year.
2 on for the Nationals. And remember the battle Ryan Church gave Guzman in the second inning before he eventually flied to deep left center. Angel has his sign. And the pitch. Base hit. The good news is Langerhans was going back to second base. He thought the ball might be caught. Good job by Guzman to back up the play as it deflected off the glove of the cutoff man Lee. The bad news is the bases are loaded. And here comes Larry Rothschild to chat with Guzman.
It's a breaking ball trying to catch that outside corner. Church reaches out and hooks that ball back into right field. Fortunately, the runner at second had to hold up because of the line drive. He's got a little problem with pitch selection there. I mean, this is after the fact, but Angel's got a really good sinker. And that's a pitch that he can command the best. And in this situation, you want a ground ball to try to get out of the inning. Better chance that a hitter's going to elevate a breaking pitch, especially a flat slider, than the sinker. So perhaps pitch selection could have been a little better right there. Go with your best stuff. Go with the pitch that's most likely to get what you're looking for. A flat slider on the outside part of the plate. That ball squared up pretty good right there. That sinker moving down toward the ground, a much better chance that the hitter's going to hit the top part of the baseball and get that desired grounder.
He's got to work out of some trouble facing Austin Kearns. Again, Kearns batted with the bases loaded yesterday. That pitch was over top of his head. And off Rich Hill, he flied out to deep left center. He thought he got it, thought he had it.
Well, that's what he's looking to do right now. He's looking for something he can jerk in the air to left field.
Well, Larry Rothschild had the wireless phone calling down to the bullpen. Popped up by Kearns. Ontario makes the catch. It looked like he thought Derek was going to take it. The infield fly rule was in effect, so it really didn't matter if it were caught because the hitter was already called out. 2 down.
There's some quick footwork right at the very end here. Quick peek by Terrio. He realizes Derek Lee's giving way to him. Well, that'll get your heart rate started when you think the first baseman's going to take the ball. At the last instant, you realize he's not going to take it. Fortunately, Ryan is right there in the vicinity, gets under the ball, makes the catch.
And there is action as Scott Air throwing in the 4th inning. Outside, ball 1 on Brian Schneider. We mentioned Lester Strode 1-0 as a pitching coach. We can't leave out Tim Buss, Cubs strength coach, who filled in as the bullpen coach yesterday in full uniform, had the pen tucked in behind his ear. So he did a nice job as well.
That's what he told us. I couldn't figure out what would look different about Bussy yesterday. You know, saw him in the clubhouse before the ball game, and there's just something about him. Well, he was in full uniform for one thing. We never see Tim Buss in full uniform. I was giving him a hard time about his hat. He had the straight bill on his cap. I told him, you got to put some fenders on that.
Guzman needs to throw a strike. 3-0 on Schneider. We know about bases loaded walks. The Cubs took 3 of them in the 3rd inning. As Laval Spigner could not throw strikes. Guzman in trouble. Big pitch, 3-1. We have a Nationals team struggling to score runs. They're 15th in the National League in runs. They have a chance here. There are 2 outs. Fouled off, 3-2. getting up here at Wrigley. Oh, you gotta love it. We're in the fourth inning, a bases loaded situation, but he walked him. Guzman got oh so close to escaping, but Schneider gets the RBI, and Washington leads 1-0.
Well, it's nice to see the reaction of the crowd before that 3-2 pitch, but as a pitcher, you can't let it affect you. Sometimes you'll see the crowd get to their feet, they're applauding. You know you're one pitch away from getting out of a tough jam, and you try to do a little bit too much with that last pitch and lose it down low.
The first baseman Castro batting. Base is still loaded. So Guzman ahead of him this time. Now he can put him away 0-2. Cubs trying to jump over 500 today. They'll have to come back to do it. They're down 1-0. 1-2. Zimmerman now at third. Ryan Church at second. And Schneider just took the bases loaded walk.
It's just off the outside corner there. That late movement. You see Michael end up trying to pull it back toward the corner, but Dale Scott's not going to buy that.
Jones locates it, battling the sun a little bit, makes a catch. Cloudy day, but a very bright sky. So Guzman gives up one, and that's it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet.
Who is it? Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. And there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, in as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
The Nationals got a run on a bases loaded walk to Brian Schneider. So it's 1-0. And Sean Hill facing Aramis Ramirez, and he pops a strike on a sinker. Cubs beginning the day 6th in the league in runs, 8th in home runs, 8th in on base, 5th in slugging. Yesterday, the Cubs took a season high 8 walks. So it wasn't a very sexy offensive day. They just simply waited him out. John Patterson and then Laval Spigner. Whatever it takes to get on base. They kept the line moving. Slicing out of play.
Well, sometimes that's the best approach you can have offensively. If you've got pitchers on the mound who are struggling to throw strikes, and when they do, you almost get caught by surprise and take awkward swings. You're better served to be patient, work those deep counts, and take your walks when you can get them.
Jones and DeRosa due up after Ramirez. Sean Hill 3 times this year has received no runs in support when he's been on the mound. They've given him 1 so far. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Ramirez.
Hey, music fans, the Dave Matthews Band is coming to the Alpine Valley Music Theater on August 25th and 26th. Brought to you by Live Nation and part of the Bud Light Concert Series. Tickets are on sale now. For tickets, visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and the Dave Matthews Band, August 25th and 26th. Always worth it.
Jones batting with 1 out and nobody on. And strike 1. Well, with the Cubs taking all those walks yesterday, we're thinking about all the great song titles that have the word walk in it. I mean, there are a lot of great ones you can just think of right off the top of your head, and we may need to recruit our great viewers to come up with some song titles that we can't think of. Len and Bob at AOL.com. Walk the Line, Walk of Life,
Walk This Way,
Walk Like an Egyptian, Walk On By, Walk Like a Man. Off the plate. So we thought of the obvious ones, but I'm sure there are a few out there that we haven't considered.
To scroll through my iPod tonight.
Oh yeah,
there's a few.
I bet you've got 15 to 20 walk in the title. Smacked into left. That's going to go all the way into the corner for Jock Jones. And he has a double. First extra base hit for the Cubs today. First in the ball game, in fact.
Jock Jones has been as locked in as any Cubs hitter over the last 3 ball games. That's a sinking fastball on the outside corner. Well, we talk about it all the time. He hits the ball as hard to left field as a left-handed hitter, as hard as a lot of right-handed pull hitters. I really feel that's his strength, driving the ball to left center, straight away, and down that line.
Runner at second with 1 out for DeRosa. Kick and a pitch. Missed, ball 1. There were some questions about what Lou was doing earlier in the year with the outfield situation. I mean, he had Matt Merton go from left to right. Cliff Floyd played a little right. He hadn't been there since 2002. Alfonso Soriano had never played center, but volunteered to do it. Well, he's made 2 moves. And you think about what's gone on here that have been just brilliant the way they played out. High chopper, and Jones is going to make it to third. In fact, he's going to score. Wilson charged, could not play the bad hop. And DeRosa's in at second base. He tried to play the short hop, and it got under his glove. It's going to be a hit for Mark DeRosa, and it's an RBI double. 1-1. Wilson has had his problems defensively, 5 errors coming in just 27 innings. And that was not an error. He could not make the play, got kind of caught in no man's land.
It looked like he got caught in between a little bit. He doesn't react immediately, and by the time he does, he catches that big hop. He was trying to pick it clean right off the edge of the dirt. You can see it. It's about 3 feet out in front, goes over his glove into left field. And real good hustle by Mark DeRosa. He never broke stride out of the batter's box. Rounded second, went hard, or rounded first, went hard into second with the head first slide.
And a first pitch strike on Barrett, so it's 1-1. Back-to-back doubles for the Cubs. But back to the outfield situation, Lou was trying to learn his team, so he was trying to figure out where everybody fit. And he had a lot of outfielders who needed to play as much as possible. But putting Soriano back in a comfortable spot in left clearly has made him relax. He's been unbelievable at the plate since. And Jock Jones in center field looks like a different defensive player than the guy we've seen in right.
He really does. He looks much more comfortable out there. He's taking good lines to the ball. His throws have been accurate and gets rid of the ball very quickly, something that he struggled with in right field last year.
The best managers, as Michael takes a call at strike 3, put their people in the best possible position to succeed. And it's pretty rare that Michael will complain with an umpire.
Well, Michael has seen some of the pitches that his pitcher did not get, especially in that last half inning, the top of the 4th. A lot of borderline pitches that didn't go Angel Guzman's way, and then Michael Baird gets called out on a pitch that he felt was probably in the same vicinity. And that comeback sinker starts off the outside corner. May have worked its way back to the corner. Borderline at best, but as I said, Michael knows that his pitcher didn't get that pitch in the last half inning, so why are you calling it now?
Runner at second is DeRosa, and as Torres will be walked, they're going to go after Guzman. Big news out of the Bronx. Roger Clemens is going to pitch for the Yankees again. He was in the owner's box and made the announcement to the fans during the game against the Seattle Mariners today. So the Rocket is back in the Bronx. And their pitching staff needs the help. They had a lot of injuries. They've shuffled through a lot of starting pitchers. How about that?
Well, the flags are flying at half-mast at Minute Maid Park in Houston right now. I think they felt they had the inside track to bring the Rocket back for another year.
He's back with Andy Pettitte.
I wonder if Andy Pettitte went to Japan to pitch for a summer, if Rocket wouldn't end up over there, too. Peas in a pod.
Guzman with a ground ball to second. Lopez retires him. Cubs have tied it. DeRosa with the RBI double. Ball got under the glove of the shortstop. 1-1.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
Hi.
Hey.
I just moved in down the hall, and do you have any chocolate sauce I could borrow?
Yeah. What's it for?
Oh, I'm just gonna pour it all over myself. Bye.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new chocolate-covered strawberry waffle bowl sundaes at Dairy Queen with fresh-baked waffles. Do one.
The road of tomorrow is being created today. From tires that help make your car more fuel efficient and safer, to earth-friendly production and recycling methods, Michelin is striving to help you find a better way forward. Michelin, a better way forward.
Chicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker. I know you're attracted to me.
Ew.
He's smooth and sophisticated. Listen to me. Follow my lead.
I had a sex change operation.
Holy crap.
Someone has been working out.
Becker, watch him operate 5 nights a week.
on Superstation WGN.
Well, the saga continues. Michael Barrett still pleading his case. Did not like that called strike 3. And I think more than anything else, he's just trying to make sure Dale Scott calls the same pitch for his pitcher. And I think, you know, catchers more than any other player on the field realize where the strike zone is on a given day. And when that strike zone changes, they're the first ones to know it.
Angel Guzman, when you put his big league numbers and his AAA numbers together to start this season, his longest outing has been 4 1/3. So he's nearing that point as we begin the 5th. His longest big league start last year was 6 innings.
And with that in mind, I'm sure Larry and Lou are going to keep a close eye on his mechanics. If they notice anything physically changing in Angel Guzman's delivery, if they notice anything in his body language that looks like it's changing as he gets deeper into this ball game, that'll be a red flag that maybe he's nearing the end.
Guzman just over the 70 pitch mark. And facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Nationals. That almost hit Wilson. Didn't make much of an effort to get out of the way.
You know, certain pitchers will tell you just by their body language on the mound that it's getting a little tougher. Don't feel quite as much in command as I was earlier in the ball game. They'll take a little bit more time between pitches. You'll see him pawing at the dirt a little bit more, rubbing up the baseball, asking for new baseballs from the home plate umpire. That's part of getting to know your own pitching staff. You'll learn those little triggers that pitchers will tell you without verbally saying, I'm getting near the end.
Two on Wilson. Easy play for Jones. Watch the Cubs battle the Pirates this Tuesday at 7:05. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs visor. Compliments of Banco Popular. The friendly confines. Huge crowd once again. Hill swinging at that first pitch. You love it when an opposing pitcher does you a favor like that. So the longest outing of the year for Guzman at any level. 4 2/3. He'll face Felipe Lopez, who will take his time getting into the batter's box. Just to go back to the outfield situation, Jock Jones had played all 3 spots in his big league career, but last year he was a right fielder here. Began the year in right field, but he has played center before in his major league career back in the minor leagues. So he's not unfamiliar to that 8th position on the defensive chart. And that's not even to mention what he's done offensively lately. One and two. And the other thing, Bob, you like is you haven't heard one guy just say it in the paper, I got to play every day. If you're not going to do it, send me somewhere. We haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, Lou may have heard some of it, but it hasn't reached the paper.
Right.
And any manager will tell you that's what you want from your players. If you tell a guy, hey, listen, we're going to run so-and-so out there at your position for a few days to see how he does, and they say, okay. You have to wonder about that guy's ambition and his gumption to go out there and play the game at a high level. Yeah, but if you tell a guy he's going to sit for a couple days, we're going to give somebody some ABs here to see what they can do, and they say, well, wait a minute now. You know, I've been doing all right. I've been doing my job. I'll get some hits for you, Skip. You know, don't forget about me. Well, okay. That's what you want from your players. You want them to want to play.
Jones again. He has it. So Guzman settling down after that rough 4th inning. It is 1-1.
Make it easy for yourself. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly nonstop from Chicago Midway to Long Island MacArthur for just $39 one way with a 7-day advance purchase.
You are now free to move about the country.
New Turtle X Ice Liquid Clay Bar deep cleans your car's finish, removing light scratches, swirl marks, bugs, tar, and oxidation. Its easy-to-use triple layer formula is safe for all painted surfaces. New Ice Liquid Clay Bar, the perfect finish restoring product.
Halt! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
Some guys like to relax in a leather recliner. Some guys like an overstuffed sofa. But to others, there's nothing better than cardboard on cold, hard concrete. Valvoline, 100 years under the hood. Now, for a limited time, buy 5 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil and get a free pair of mechanics wear gloves, valued at over $24.
Da Vinci's Inquest, weekdays on Superstation WGN.
Glenn and Bob and our WGN sports crew from Wrigley Field. Game 3 of a 6-game homestand. Soriano with a base hit the other way. Found the hole on the right side. He has tied his career high with a 15-game hitting streak. Time to have a ball. Brought to you by our friends from the Illinois Lottery. This season, Fidelity Investments teaming up with Cubs Care and the Union League Boys and Girls Clubs to support the RBI Baseball League. RBI Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, a youth outreach program that offers hundreds of Chicago inner city teenagers the opportunity to learn, compete, and grow. And through the Inspire the Future program, Fidelity is a ground ball and an out. And second, and that's it. Fidelity has brought the players of the RBI League to Wrigley today, and it's great to have them here. So a big group watching the ball game today. You've got teams like Barrett's Bears, Derek's Gold Glovers.
I think one was Lou's Lumber Company.
Yeah. It's a great program. Terrio on the fielder's choice, now at first base for Soriano. And here's the aforementioned Derek Lee. Pitch by Sean Hill, smacked off the hockey mask of Brian Schneider.
Boy, those hockey-style masks, the sound they make. Sounds like dropping a radio on the ground, you know, there's plastic rattling around.
Good take, it's low.
You know, there is a big pad on the chin area of those hockey style masks, and also up in the forehead area. So even though you're covered here with a pad underneath the mask, but that plastic rattling around, that scares me.
We're keeping an eye on us from our HD Snoop cam in the booth today.
The Snoop cam, huh? We used to call it something else when I was in the dugout.
We've kept all the bats away from you up here. Yeah, we should have put that really on the other side.
No, I think
right
it's fine right where it is. Just keep it over there.
What do you got going on over here? You got monitors protecting everything?
A little monitor here on this side.
Got the fan behind you, which you haven't had to use yet. There it is. Not too far away. Inside. Full count. 3-2. Just no privacy.
No, none at all. Big Brother is watching.
See if Terrio runs. He does. The pitch. Ball 4. second walk the Cubs have taken. The first unintentional walk for Sean Hill. Now Ramirez 0 for 2 to start the afternoon.
Ball four to Derek Lee. A borderline pitch. 3-2-1 out and a runner on the move. The catcher invariably has to get ready to come up out of that crouch and throw to second base. And sometimes you steal a little bit of the umpire's vision of that pitch that's low and on the outside corner. Not saying that was the particular case with Schneider on that instance, but you've got to be prepared to throw in case that umpire calls a strike three. And in your haste to get up out of the crouch and make your throw to second, sometimes you block his vision just a little bit.
Cardinals lead the Astros 3-1, bottom of the fifth from St. Louis. Cardinals finding out that Chris Carpenter is going to have elbow surgery. He's going to be out at least 3 months. The Astros are not going to get Roger Clemens. He's back with the Yankees. Milwaukee leading again 4-0 at home against the Pirates as they get set for the bottom of the sixth. Washington will head an hour and a half north after this one to take on the Brewers. The series will start tomorrow night. So the Cubs hope to sweep the Nationals, send them to their 5th straight loss, and then they hope the Nationals immediately get hot.
As a manager, you never wanted to see a team that was in the midst of a losing streak, that had lost 6 or 7 or 8 games in a row, because you know at some point the law of averages, it's going to turn around. They're going to win their share of ball games, and you don't want to be the team that they turn it around against.
Full count on Ramirez. Like he was asking Dale Scott, did I swing at a strike?
It probably was a strike, but it was definitely a pitcher strike at the knees on the outside corner. Not a real good pitch to take a hack at on 3-1. Good news is he didn't put it in play weakly. He swung and missed, and now on the 3-2 count he'll get another chance.
And here it comes. It's foul.
No sign of the runners being in motion on that particular pitch, but it would be a safe gamble with Aramis Ramirez at the plate. He's a guy that strikes out infrequently, usually is going to make contact, put the ball in play, and against the sinker balling Hill, a pretty good chance he's going to hit a ground ball.
Good speed on the bases. Terrio and Lee. Here we go again. They're full for Jones.
A good adjustment from one at bat to the other for Aramis Ramirez. That's basically the same pitch he swung at to strike out leading off the 4th inning. This time lays off to load the bases.
As Randy St. Clair heads out, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Get your backstage pass to the tears, the talents, and the outtakes, including never-before-seen footage. American Idol Rewind, tonight at 8 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Cubs at 500 for the first time since they were 3-3. It was April 8th, and the last time they were above 500, they were 3-2 on April 7th. Three men on with 1 out. Cubs trying to take the lead. They tied it in the 4th. And the pitch to Jones is right down the middle. The Nationals want a double play to get out of it. They have a sinker baller on the mound, facing a guy who likes to go the other way. Oh, Jock got hit, and he's going to run it off, and he gets an RBI. That's not the first time the Cubs have had that happen this week. Cliff Floyd got hit with the bases loaded in Pittsburgh. It did not sound good, but fortunately Jock didn't go down. He just ran right down to first.
He's still trying to walk it off a little bit. Looked like it might have hit him on the back leg the way he's limping. Take another look here in slow motion. Sinker way in off the plate. Yeah, he's able to get the front leg out of the way. It clips him on that left calf on the back leg.
So the Cubs now lead 2-1. Did you ever get an RBI by getting hit with the bases loaded?
Not to the best of my knowledge. I know there were many of my managers that wished I'd stick my head out there in the strike zone and take one for the team, but pitchers just threw me too many strikes.
I've had fans ask why more guys don't try to get hit with the bases loaded. My general answer is probably because it hurts.
Well, that's a good place to start. Yeah, I mean, depending on where you get hit, it could knock you out of the lineup for a couple of days.
And technically, you're supposed to try to get out of the way, although it's rarely called that way. And we've mentioned a few guys who always seem to almost dive into the pitch and try to make it look like they're getting out of the way, but those guys are pretty rare.
And you want to hit. I mean, that's like asking Bobby Fischer, if you're losing a chess match, why don't you just knock all the pieces over? Well, it's not part of the game. You know, you're up there trying to get a base hit and do it the right way.
3-1 on DeRosa. He took a bases loaded walk yesterday in that big third inning. Ground ball, and the Nationals get one at second. A great throw, but Castro got it on the hop from Lopez, so they get out of the inning. The Cubs, however, get the lead. Jones hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and it's 2-1.
What does every man want 7 nights a week?
Baseball. Beers. Super Bowl Sunday. And the Zaza Zoo.
Yeah, they've got that.
Why don't you just kill me now?
Sex in the City, 7 nights a week. Is it just a chick show? I don't think so.
Want some?
Weeknights at 11 on Superstation WGN.
Sorry, dude. Only got one left. Hey, I'm gonna grab some nachos. Walter! Watch my Bud Light, buddy.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Does Walter like nachos?
Yes, it's time to vacation. Dollar Millionaire style.
Road trip.
With outstanding McDonald's fries and outlandish legroom. This cabin is first class all the way.
Oh, these people don't fly coach, but they're pretty fly.
They're also decked up with decadent double cheeseburgers and other dollar menu delicacies. No, they don't need a 5-star hotel. They've got $5 million.
The road of tomorrow is being created today. From tires that help make your car more fuel efficient and safer, to earth-friendly production and recycling methods, Michelin is striving to help you find a better way forward. Michelin, a better way forward.
Now today's Honda Civic game summary. The RBI, Brian Schneider for the Nationals. That was a bases loaded walk. For the Cubs, Alfonso Soriano with a 15-game hitting streak. We'll talk about Angel Guzman here in a moment. The go-ahead RBI, Jock Jones hit by a pitch. Today's Honda Civic game summary. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. Jock moves over to play right. Felix PA in to play center field. So DeRosa double switched out. Scott Air takes over on the mound, and Angel Guzman has the opportunity for his first big league win, with the Cubs taking the lead in the 5th inning. You have to be very happy with what Angel Guzman did today as he jumps into that 5th spot in the rotation. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He threw 82 pitches.
Very solid effort from Angel Guzman today. Probably not as crisp as he would like. Probably not as crisp as we saw him earlier this year out of the bullpen, but effective nonetheless. Anytime you can hold a major league team to 1 run over 5 innings without your best stuff, that's a pretty good day.
And now he just sits and watches. Henry Blanco trying to keep him occupied here. Maybe more nerve-wracking for Angel here the rest of the way than it was to start the game. He has no control over what happens now. I mean, this is a big outing for Scott Air. He is pitching with a 1-run lead, but a couple of innings earlier than he's used to. Langerhans turns on it toward the right field corner, and it'll be an extra base hit. Jones gets it back in. It's a double to start the 6th.
This has been a problem Scott Air has had this year, pitching to left-handed hitters. Another pitch that's elevated just below the belt on the inside corner. One of his strengths for me last year was his ability to keep the ball down. Even when he missed his spots, he usually missed down, leaving a lot of pitches up over the heart of the plate.
That's the 9th hit in 18 at-bats he's allowed to lefties, so they're hitting .500 against him. He and Larry Rothschild worked on a slight mechanical tweak, just trying to keep everything going toward the plate. One ball, one strike on Zimmerman. Some spots in the order, Manny Acta would ask this hitter to either lay down a bunt or absolutely hit a ground ball to the right side. But Zimmerman's a number 3 guy. So he's paid to drive in runs with hits and power. 2-1. Scott has a sign from Barrett. Here he comes. It's low. 3-1. A lefty on deck, Ryan Church. Well, Zimmerman will move that runner to third. Gets the first out of the 6th. Ground ball to second. This year, when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game of the season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB.tv. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Will Oman getting ready. Infield in against the cleanup man, Ryan Church. Slider missing, low and away. They're trying to keep it a 2-1 lead. Another close pitch that did not go the pitcher's way.
You see, Michael, once the ball up, it actually ends up down at the knees. Pretty good looking pitch right there on the inside corner.
And Michael's going to head out and talk to Scott Air. Well, we have a chance. Had a great time last night at the Bozo Ball down at Navy Pier. Proceeds benefiting the Off the Street Club. WGN was well represented. Saw many members of the Cubs front office there as well. It was a great event. The tuxedo still fits.
That's good to hear. ...2-0 on Church.
Outside corner strike.
It helps to have those tuxedos with the elastic waist.
Yes, it does. Langer hands is the tying run at third base. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Saw Tom Skilling. He said he enjoys talking with us during the rain delays.
It's too bad we didn't have Tom Skilling in Pittsburgh the other day. I might have called that game at the appropriate time.
I think you're right. Swing and a miss. So Scott Air comes back after a little chat with his catcher, firing nothing but strikes. So 2 outs in the inning.
Boy, what a huge emotional lift this would be for the Cubs and for Scott Air to be able to escape this jam without any damage. Let's see if he'll get an opportunity to do it. Lou Piniella making his way out to the mound. We're not sure what's going to happen here. Maybe a pitching change, maybe just a little pep talk. We'll see how it goes. You do have a left-handed hitter, Brian Schneider, in the on-deck circle, followed by another left-handed hitter. Normally you wouldn't walk the go-ahead run intentionally, but I've talked about Austin Kearns and how dangerous he can be. And it looks like Lou got the answer he was looking for. Scott Air will stay on to face the right-handed hitter.
I wouldn't be surprised if they walk Kearns and go after Schneider here. That was a pretty brief chat. Boy, I was looking for festival seating when Lou goes out to the mound these days. I mean, because you don't know he's going to pull the pitcher. He goes out as much as any manager, maybe more so in baseball, to not take the pitcher out. They're going to walk Kearns.
We'll see what transpires the rest of this inning, but I think this is the right move personally. Austin Kearns, as I've mentioned throughout this ball game and throughout this series, he is the most dangerous hitter. Maybe not the best hitter in this Nationals lineup, but he's the most dangerous hitter. He's the guy that can hit a ball in the gap, hit a ball up in the seats, and really swing the game in the Nationals' favor. And if you can take the bat out of his hands, even at the expense of putting the go-ahead run on base, I think you have to take that risk.
Let's take a look at our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule, sponsored by Comcast. Cubs hosting the Pirates Tuesday night on WCIU Channel 26. Thursday, the finale of the upcoming series, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man, and the Sox host the Kansas City Royals on Saturday on WGN at 6 o'clock. 2007 Major League Baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. So Air facing Schneider, first and third. Slide piece for a strike.
A lot of different things enter into the decision to intentionally walk one hitter to go after the next one. Schneider hitting 100 points lower against left-handed pitching, only a 140 hitter against lefties, 240 against righties.
Pop foul and back toward the seats behind the target.
Kearns, on the other hand, has hit over 300 against against left-handed pitching this year, and given the fact that he's the guy that can hurt you the most with one swing of the bat, Lou just decided to take the bat right out of his hands.
Fans getting into it again. There to the belt, now to the plate. Called strike 3. So he escapes, and the Cubs maintain their lead. It's 2-1 to the bottom of the 6th.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
Because Geico sounds like gecko. That's it. That's the only reason I'm here. The fact is, if Geico sounded like some other animal, like, I don't know, a puma, sure enough, there'd be some adorable little cat sitting here talking about Geico's low rates.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You can't even imagine the pressure. I mean, I've literally got like 2 seconds to capture your attention while simultaneously informing you that you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Quite frankly, I don't think it's even possible.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pearl, you never have to have sex again except for when you actually want to.
On the next Scrubs, Turk and Carla are finally getting married.
Ted, we go to church. We do mostly bar mitzvahs.
But will it go off without a glitch?
Turk got held up in surgery.
Dr. Turk, what do you think we should do?
Leave a post-it in there for the next guy? And Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
He's making over your life.
It's almost a miracle.
And your relationships.
You need to get some dating done.
The Greg Barron Show.
Take a look.
Weekdays at 2 on Superstation WGN.
Ryan Schneider took a called third, and the Cubs keeping the advantage 2-1. A strike on Michael Barrett. The last time he was up, he took a called third, had a little conversation with Dale Scott. We got an email from big Cub fan from Illinois, now in Colorado, Paul Baker, and he wants to know, what can a guy like Michael say to Dale Scott? What can you get away with? You're technically not supposed to argue balls and strikes. Are there ways and means of getting around that a little bit?
Well, you really have to massage it, and a lot of it depends on the previous relationship you've had with a particular umpire. Sometimes you can just come right out and say that's not a strike. Now, you didn't call that a strike last half inning, and you can get away with that with certain umpires. Other guys, you have to be a little more diplomatic about it. You sure that was a strike? Because, you know, we had one right there last inning, and you said it was a little off the corner. That one must have been just a little closer. Yeah, I had that one just a little closer. You just have to be careful, and you should never preface your argument with you. Y-O-U. Because now it's personal.
Casto makes a catch.
You missed that call. You blew that one. You know, that's never a good thing for an umpire. But there are ways you can talk to them, and you know, certainly when you're sitting back there behind home plate for 125 or 150 pitches a game, it's understandable that occasionally the umpire may miss a borderline pitch, but when it happens repeatedly and seems to be going against you more than for you, that's when, as a catcher, it's part of your job to point it out to the umpire that, come on now, you know, you're giving it to their guy. We need that pitch too.
So you don't start it with the word you, and it's best not to begin it with an expletive as well.
Probably not. You shouldn't end it with you either. I don't know.
You knew what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I was trying to massage it a little bit. Ow, his tourist got hit. Second batter, Hill has plunked the last 2 innings.
When this one comes on a breaking ball that starts inside and just continues to work further inside. Almost ended up going behind Cesar's Torres, just clipped him on the front leg as it went all the way to the backstop after hitting him.
Nice hand for Felix Pie.
He's developing quite a cult following here at Wrigley Field. They really like to see him do something right here offensively, jumpstart the team and get the fans back into the ball game.
Hitting .229. Not a huge surprise that he has struggled to make that transition at the plate to the big leagues. But the Cubs expect him to eventually be a very good hitter and an everyday big leaguer. I'd like to see a little more patience. He's taken 1 walk and has had 48 at bats. We only got about 400 emails with song titles having the word walk in them. We got the obvious ones, but there are many, many more that we missed. I'm always looking for new songs for my iPod. Soft liner caught by the shortstop Wilson, and that sends his tourist back to first. Here comes Soriano for his 4th at bat. Singled his last time up. Barry Bonds continues to inch closer to Hank Aaron. He hit his 744th home run yesterday, so he's 11 away from Hank Aaron. Giants tonight will host the Phillies. And with the news the Yankees have signed Roger Clemens, they shut out Seattle today 5-0. Darryl Rasner beat Jared Washburn. Final in the National League, Atlanta 6, the Dodgers 4. Also the Padres beat the Marlins 3-1 the final. Wilson will get to second base before his tourists, and the inning is over. To the 7th, Cubs lead 2-1.
Don't try this at home. Leave it to the comedy professionals. Home Improvement weekdays.
Weekdays at 5:30.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it. Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
Get your temperature rising. Late nights on Superstation WGN. First, join the fabulous foursome of Sex and the City. Then make an appointment with the doctors that have some serious bedside manner. Be sure to follow up with Becker, the doctor who has, well, a way with his patients. Catch the Fever, weeknights, Sex and the City at 11, followed by Scrubs at 11:30, then Becker at 12:30. Late nights on Superstation WGN. It's great to be home.
The Cubs going for the sweep. They lead the Nationals 2-1. And getting into the 7th inning. Bears cornerback Nathan Vasher will handle our 7th inning stretch today. Scott Air gave up a leadoff double in the 6th, but eventually got out of it. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. And he faces Corey Casto, who's playing first. Since Casto got called up again, he was 2 out of 21. And Soriano, and it's going to be Alfonso, the left fielder, to make the catch. So Castro's fly to right, to center, and to left. Michael Wirtz has joined Will Oman. Ed Hardig, our good friend, reports that if the Cubs win today, it would be their first sweep of a team based in Washington, D.C. since July 29th through the 31st in 1898. So it's been a while.
It's been a while. Leave it up to Ed to know that.
Celebrate National Broom Day over at High Tops.
And hopefully the Cubs will have a lot of broom days. Third game of a 3-game series.
Now the Washington Senators were a charter member of the American League in 1901. The name alternated between the Nationals and Senators. In the mid-50s officially became the Senators. The original club moved to Minnesota in 1961. The new Senators in 61 stayed in Washington through 71 and ended up in Texas. Gil Hodges And Ted Williams managed the second version of the Senators. This particular franchise began as a Montreal Expos in 1969. Three and one the count on Josh Wilson. Manny Acta, the youngest manager in the big leagues.
See Dimitri Young right behind him with the helmet on in the event that the Cubs make a pitching change. Ronnie Belliard is in the on-deck circle right now. Should Lou make the change to the right-hander to face Belliard, I'm sure we would see Dimitri Young.
So Belliard announced. And the Brain Trust discussing things. And here comes Lou. And he makes a call for Michael Wirtz. So we're in the seventh inning. The Cubs lead by a run. Nationals have a man on. We'll be back.
Superstation WGN is your home for blockbuster movies that let you escape into another world. Where you can be a hero.
The United States government just asked us to save the world. Anybody want to say no?
A queen.
I am my father's daughter. I am not afraid of anything.
A thief.
It's not about the money. We like the chase.
Where you can be a little crazy.
You're crazy.
You're beautiful.
Where your dreams come true.
Where I feel like I could fly.
Where you can fall in love.
Are you the author of the plays of William Shakespeare?
I am.
Then kiss me again, for I'm not mistook.
Where you can go back in time.
It's... Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Or where you can go back home. Superstation WGN is your home for blockbuster movies that are fun for the entire family.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
With action.
What the hell is happening? I blew up the building. Why? Because you made a phone call.
Adventure. And everything in between. From the classics to the cutting edge. And from first kisses to first loves. Our movies are where dreams come true. Superstation WGN.
So it's going to be Michael Wirtz against Ronnie Belliard. Manny Acta's had trouble finding somebody to do any damage off the bench. Their pinch hitters 3 for 49. Runner at first is Josh Wilson. And here's the pitch by Wirtz. It's low on a slider. Cubs out hitting the Nationals 6-3. Wilson got on via the walk. Little deke there by Michael Barrett. I think he knew that he caught the ball, but he kind of took a look like he was going to have to chase it down, but the ball was in his mitt. Trying to see what Josh Wilson was going to do. Swing and a miss. John Roush is up for the Nationals.
He's really tall. Saw him in the tunnel going up toward the weight room yesterday. Oh, what a monster.
Swing and a miss by Belliard again. And it's 2-2. Cubs have done a great job stranding inherited runners. They did give up one yesterday. Ended a long streak going back to mid-April. And it's now full 3-2. Lou has retired 12 of 14 first batters he's faced, and all 10 inherited runners have been stranded. Runner not going, and a 3-2 misses. And Lou coming out again. He has Ullman ready with the switch hitter Lopez due up. And we'll get another pitching change. 5 walks issued by the Cubs, including 1 intentional walk in the 6th. Ullman for Wirtz when we come back.
How long is this gonna last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light.
I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and I'll pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
And away we go.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you?
100, 100 quarter, 100 and a half, 175, 200, 200 quarter.
We go nonstop too. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to Baltimore, Washington, or Washington Dulles International for just $59. Just $59 one way with a 7-day advance purchase by May 17th.
You are now free to move about the country.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Will Ullman on to face Felipe Lopez. They're going to turn him around, make him bad right-handed.
Throughout his career, Lopez, it's about a wash from the right side to left side. This year, however, he's done much better as a right-handed hitter, hitting .317 coming into play today, .241 as a left-handed hitter.
Michael wants it down, and it's away, 1-1. Well, you mentioned Bobby Fischer earlier. The chess match has begun as these two managers make moves in the 7th. Pinch hitters, relief pitchers, double switches, you name it. We're starting to see it. Swing and a miss.
In my time in Arizona, Joe Garagiola Sr. did several games on television every year, and at this point in the ball game, he'd say the brains are spilling all over the field.
Ullman, the 3rd reliever. Almost hit Lopez. He got plunked twice yesterday.
That was a nice stop by Michael Barrett. Keep that tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first base.
Kick and the 2-2. It's fouled into the dugout. Nice barehanded play by the bench coach, Alan Trammell. Bob Howery is up in the bullpen. Stellar work a couple of days ago. He was so good, Ron Santo dedicated "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" to Howery. Got out of that mess in the 7th.
We've seen Lou do this several times this year, go through a lot of pitchers and just to get through that 7th inning, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of the confidence that he has in Ryan Dempster, his closer, to come in and get more than 3 outs to save a ball game. If you have a closer that is only effective for those last 3 outs of the game in the 9th inning, then maybe you have to use your bullpen a little differently leading up to that. But Dempster has shown repeatedly this year that he can get a big out in the 8th inning, come back and pitch the 9th. So Lou not afraid to exhaust his bullpen here if that's what it takes to get out of this jam.
Another one bounced up there. You might have been able to hear Ullman. He was not happy with himself on that pitch. 3-2. We'll see if the Nationals send the runners.
Another good stop by Michael Barrett. That 55-foot breaking ball slides over to his left, manages to keep it in front.
Here it comes. The runner's not going, and a bouncer. Lee gets it. Ullman to first. They got him. A tricky play for Derek Lee as he had to back up. It's a lot more difficult to play a bounce when you're going away from home plate and toward foul ground. Derek made the play, and Ullman got over to cover first.
A good play to begin with by Derek Lee, as you mentioned, going back and to his left. This is actually a fairly easy throw because the pitcher is coming almost directly at you from the pitcher's mound. You just throw it right over the base, right in line with the pitcher, let him run into it, and that time the timing was perfect just as Ullman got to the bag. And then the second part of this play, or the third part rather, after Ullman gets the out at first, watch him quickly turn and check the runner at third base. A lot of times the pitchers will be so happy with themselves for getting over there and getting the out, they'll forget that there's runners behind them.
Dimitri Young will pinch hit for Ryan Langerhans. Second and third with 2 outs. So the Nationals have threatened the last 2 innings after the Cubs got the lead in the 5th. And Lou's going to head right to Dale Scott, tell him what he's going to do with his lineup card. So Howery will come in when we come back.
Pearly, you never have to have sex again except for when you actually want to.
On the next Scrubs, Turk and Carla are finally getting married.
Ted, go to church. We do mostly bar mitzvahs.
But will it go off without a glitch?
Turk got held up in surgery. Dr. Turk, what do you think we should do?
Leave a post-it in there for the next guy? And Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Come spring and summer, our yard is our family room. We sleep in there, but we definitely live out here.
I really just like the feeling of the grass.
We like a healthy lawn, and it's got to be durable, and our lawn really is both.
A healthy lawn means that we can get out there, feel comfortable in the grass.
We use Scott's Turf Builder Plus 2. It feeds the lawn, and it kills dandelions.
We hate dandelions. We don't like to have them around.
I got some good old-fashioned grass stains on my pants. That's a sign of a good day. We had a lot of fun. I want to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's our Scott's lawn.
Don't play hard to get with a man who's hard to get.
On the next Sex in the City.
We have nothing in common. He's in and out of Europe. That could be good.
You got yourself a man, a real power player.
When it comes to men, even when we try to keep it light, how do we wind up in the dark?
Smith, he's hot, but he's a baby.
Cool.
You need a grown-up.
On the next Sex in the City.
Tonight at 11 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Time now for our Bud Light fan cam on a beautiful Sunday from Wrigley with Los Straitjackets.
Clam, clam, clean up the rim, room, cause your rim bam baby is getting back tonight. Get my slim slam slippers and my easy chair, and your greasy fingers through my greasy hair. Kiss me, baby, let me hold you tight. Yeah, I've been north and south, east and west, but even the honeybee needs some rest. When I get my jacket and my trousers pressed, I follow the swallow right back to my nest. Don't you in when worry if the train is late. Gonna shim sham shuttle on a flip freight, cause you're been
Matt Merton is playing right field, and Jock Jones goes back to center. So Felix P.A. out, and Bob Howery will do the pitching. Bim Bam Baby, that's Los Straitjackets, along with Big Sandy, a great rendition of the anthem yesterday as they were in town performing at Fitzgerald's. So Dimitri Young goes back and hits left-handed. He was going to hit right-handed. against Will Ullman.
Just to throw some more numbers at you, Dimitri Young as a right-handed hitter, 314 coming into play today. As a lefty, 179. Fairly easy decision for Lou to turn him around to the left side.
Second and third for Washington. 2 balls, no strikes. What are the brains doing? Spilling all over the field?
Yes, indeed. They'll need the grounds crew out there after this inning.
Young was taking all the way. It's a strike. 2-1. Nathan Vasher getting ready for the 7th inning stretch. He's become the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Long top half of the 7th, but enjoying the view. Base hit by Young. 1 is in. Make it 2. So the Nationals get the lead, their first hit of the inning. Those 2 walks come back to bite the Cubs.
Nationals have really struggled in this department, pinch hitting off the bench, but not so today. Dimitri Young going right back up the middle of the field with a fastball from Bob Howry. Gets out into that outfield grass in center field. Jock has a long way to run to get to that ball. By the time he gets there, there's nothing he can do but throw the ball back into second base.
A strike on Zimmerman. When Lou came out to make the double switch, he walked out into the grass in right field to check on Jock Jones, who had been hit by a pitch earlier. And I think he was asking him, are you okay to go back to center? And Jock said, I'm fine. And that's when he put Merton in right and put PA in center. So Lou telling Jock what his plans are. He said, are you going to be all right? Okay. One and two. So the first run was charged to Scott Air, who walked Wilson. Wirtz walked Belliard. So that run charged to him. The crowd very quiet at the moment. Still a long way to go. The Cubs have 9 more outs offensively to work with as Howie tries to get out of this 7th.
Well, if the relief pitchers, if the pitchers in general for the Cubs don't know by now, Lou Piniella does not like base on balls, especially late in a close ball game. I'm sure that's going to be the main topic of conversation in that clubhouse after the ball game.
To reset the lineup after the latest switch, Merton coming into the game. They hit in the 6th spot, and Howry inserted into the 9th spot. And we have a lot of Cub fans who watch us every day and try to keep score. Called strike 3. 7th inning stretch time.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Chicago Bears cornerback Nathan Vasher.
Cubs fans, are you ready? Let me hear it. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for this root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, get some runs.
Waffles and soft serve are hooking up? Huh. I hooked up once. She was an ear. They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve. In the chocolate-covered strawberry waffle bowl sundae at Dairy Queen. Do one.
Curly, you never have to have sex again except for when you actually want to.
On the next Scrubs, Turk and Carla are finally getting married.
Ted, go to church. We do mostly bar mitzvahs.
But will it go off without a glitch?
Turk got held up in surgery. Dr. Turk, what do you think we should do?
Leave a post-it in there for the next guy?
And Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I'm sorry, I get excited.
Next Scrubs.
Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
John Roush now doing the pitching for Washington. And Nathan Vasher, we finally got it done. How you doing?
I know you're talking about 7th inning stretch. Wow. I needed that one.
Bears cornerback with us in the booth. And I got to tell you, you hit it right. Sometimes people are a little bit off key, but you found the zone and you nailed it today.
You know, I've seen other people do that song, and it's definitely a great one, but I've seen some people not do it very well. I just want to get right in between somewhere.
And sometimes being right in the middle is okay. A lot of changes for the Nationals. They lead 3-2. Angel Guzman will now get a no decision. He had a chance for a win before the Nationals got 2 in the top of the inning. John Roush on the mound. And that's a ball on Ryan Theriot. Ryan Church taking over in center. He began the day in left. Corey Casto started at first. He's now in left. Robert Fick playing first. And Roush is on the mound. Got a lot going on right now, Nathan. Now, your cousin is Craig Monroe of the Detroit Tigers, and we are told that he has had a huge day for Detroit. 3 hits, a home run, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented guy. You know, I've been watching him play for a number of years. And I know that he can go out there and make every play out there on the field and hit a lot of the pitches, so he's definitely talented.
Nice catch by Fick in foul ground. Let's check out the first pitch today. Bob will be nice to you.
Oh, that's smooth. That's a nice delivery right there. The leg kick, the pivot, everything. Did you play any baseball growing up?
Played a little bit. Played till I was about 14 or so. But then the skill level changed. The guys started throwing the ball a whole lot harder and throwing curveballs, knuckleballs. I couldn't hit it after that, so I had to give it up.
Well, we all reached that point. Mine was a little later, but I hit the same point.
Derek Lee gets under it, and on the right side of the infield is Felipe Lopez. I don't know if you were told Roger Clemens has signed with the Yankees. Had that University of Texas connection.
Had no idea he was with the Yankees.
He didn't call you and tell you? Fellow Longhorn say, Nathan, I'm going to go back to the Yankees.
I think I missed that one. I missed that. He might have left one on my voicemail, so I have to go back and check it.
All right. That sounds good. Now, you spend most of your time in the off-season here in Chicago, correct?
Right. It's correct. Just here working out actually right now. We're in an off-season program with Rusty Jones and Chicago Bears staff. They do a great job of getting us all here, you know, and getting ready for the next season. So the rookies are in mini camp right now, and I'm at the Cubs game, so I'm having a great time.
This is a great place to be. Fouled off by Ramirez.
You know, Nathan, I'm interested if it's the same for football players. Baseball players will tell you they work a lot harder. Their off-season conditioning program and what they do in the off-season is a lot harder than the season, because this is the fun part. Is that the same way it is in football?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You got to, they say, put the hay in the barn. You know, you got to go in there, put all the work in during training camp and, you know, get some things taken care of, square them away, and then once the, you know, the preseason hits, and then the regular season, you're ready to go. And we're definitely excited about it.
Now, you set a record with a 108-yard return, and it was tied by your teammate Devin Hester. Were you okay with that?
I still want to say that my run has to be a better run than his. Mine was in 20-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, his was just a straight shot. I had to spin and turn and do all kind of different stuff. So I give him a hard time about that all the time.
All right. Great to see you, and best of luck coming up here in 2007. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you a lot.
It's Nathan Vasher, 3-2 Nationals.
Primetime editing, including outstanding directing. Where's the target? Outstanding drama series.
I said drop it!
And outstanding lead actor Kiefer Sutherland. Tell me where the bomb is! 24 weekends. Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
You packed your own shoots for the first time, and that's a big deal. As a surprise, I stocked the fridge in the hangar with Bud Light.
Hey, where's the Bud Light?
So let's pull them.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
The road of tomorrow is being created today. From tires that help make your car more fuel efficient and safer, to earth-friendly production and recycling methods, Michelin is striving to help you find a better way forward. Michelin, a better way forward.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Come to Midas and get brake pads or shoes for just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just a Midas touch. We have nothing in common. He's in and out of Europe. That could be good.
Don't play hard to get with a man who's hard to get.
Sex and the City.
Tonight at 11 Eastern on WGN. America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Thanks to Nathan Vasher for joining us. Boy, what a nice guy. Bob Howard in the first pitch of the 8th inning hits Ryan Church. Nathan was a great sport. We don't have official records for how long the 7th inning stretch guest has to wait to sing, but he, if we did have one, he was close. That one actually bounced up and then rolled up Ryan Church's front leg.
And once again, that's part of the batting order for the Nationals. They're not likely to see a sac bunt from Austin Kearns. Maniac, I'm sure, is going to let this part of his order swing away, try to do big damage in this inning.
Outside corner strike.
A lot of ball marks out there in front of home plate. We've seen a lot of pitches hit that far out in front of home plate today.
Kearns drives it the other way. Merton is back on it. Reaches up and he makes the catch. Up against the door.
To the opposite field by Austin Kearns. Merton just kind of gliding back on it, reaches up and makes the catch right before backing into the door out there in right center field. It has to be a surprise for a right fielder to see a ball hit like that to the opposite field off the bat of Austin Kearns. He rarely goes to the opposite field.
Schneider with an RBI walk in the 4th. He took it with the bases loaded. Lee can't get it. And that'll send Church all the way to 3rd. 1st and 3rd with only 1 out.
Well, from our RoboCam, you'll see that hole on the right side of the infield. Derek Lee holding on the runner, can only dive as that ball gets by for a base hit. It really changes the complexion of an inning when you get that leadoff man on and force the defense to change, to hold that runner on base, leaving that hole on the right side of the infield. Especially with a left-handed hitter like Schneider, who knows where the holes are. And he rolled over that pitch, hit a hard ground ball through for a base hit.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the runs in the 7th were charged to 2 different pitchers. Dimitri Young with a pinch hit 2-run single, while Bob Howery with 1 run was charged to Scott Air, the other to Michael Wirtz. Guzman will get a no decision. Sean Hill has a chance for a win. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings on 6 hits. Ground ball to second base. Terrio is towards Lee, and they turn it. That gets the Cubs out of the inning, gives them a chance here to get back to even, or maybe even better. We'll see.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
We go nonstop too. Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to Baltimore, Washington, or Washington Dulles International for just $59. Just $59 one way with a 7-day advance purchase by May 17th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Code Green. I think I've lost him.
Hey, haven't I seen you before?
You sure have. Look out!
Whoa! My car! It's too late to report my claim now.
Don't you have Esurance?
I do.
At Esurance, you can report your claim 24/7, online or on the phone. Always fast and friendly. You'll be back on the road in no time. Duty calls. If you're on the road, you've got to have Esurance.
Save on 24/7 claim service at esurance.com.
Hi, can you tell me, how are the rooms at that hotel?
Very nice curtains and TV's video games.
Uh-huh. And the rooms at your hotel?
There's a bed and some tables.
Right.
Want to talk to someone who really knows hotels? Call the experts at Hotels.com. They've got the inside scoop on over 70,000 properties. They're available 24/7, and they'll always find you the best price guaranteed. Just log on or call 800-2HOTELS now. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
Turk and Carla are finally getting married, but Elliot could be the only one hooking up.
Hey, Elliot. I get excited.
Next Scrubs, tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Welcome back to Wrigley. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, Pete Toma. Oh, my stomach. Jones. Cubs third base coach Mike Quade would like to send birthday wishes to Bruce and Teresa, twin brother and sister. So Bruce and Teresa Quade, happy 49th. Also Jim Obojkowicz from the Cubs marketing department with a birthday this weekend. Jim might be as tall as John Roush.
He's close.
Pretty good hoopster. Neil Kotz is the lefty on the right. Brian Dempster is the righty on the left.
Makes me dizzy just thinking about it. Yeah, we said there's a reason for that. We pointed it out in the past that if it were reversed, they would both be throwing basically out of the same slot. Makes it extremely tough on those bullpen catchers. So you separate those throwing arms by as much distance as possible. If it were reversed and Kotz were on the other side and Dempster was on the right side, the release points would be very close to the same when their arm reaches out there and extends to throw the pitch.
I always use the analogy of when you sit down at a table and you have a lefty and a righty and you both reach for your food, and you got to make sure you coordinate it properly. You don't want dueling salad forks.
No.
2-2 on Merton. Well, Bob, we were told Sean Hill has been their best starter, and he pitched well today.
He came as advertised. Power sinker, kept the ball down for the most part. Probably elevated it more today than he has in any of his previous 6 starts coming into today. But 5 of his 6 starts were quality starts. He gave up only 2 earned runs in those 5. The one game he didn't give up 2 earned runs, he only gave up 3. So very, very effective.
Redheads rock. So a big Matt Merton fan in attendance today. Driven foul down to the right.
Lou Piniella would like to see the redhead rock one right here, find a gap somewhere, get himself into scoring position quickly for Michael Barrett. Well, it's been tough to find playing time for Matt Merton. The Cubs have faced the fewest left-handed starting pitchers of any team in all of baseball. Only 3 left-handed starters all year long. And of course, those are the games that Matt Merton figures to get most of the at-bats against those left-handed starters, and the Cubs just haven't seen many.
Shakes off his sign, finds the one he wants, and coming back. Merton hanging with him. They've gone to the 9th in Milwaukee. The Brewers lead the Pirates 6-4. The Bucks came back and tied it in the 7th with 4, but Milwaukee added 2 in the 8th. Prince Fielder with 2 home runs today. Pitching zone as this long sequence continues. Another 2-2. Another fly ball, pretty well hit, but it's going to stay in. Caught by Kearns. The 6th annual Meet the Team Have a Ball is Tuesday, May 29th at 2:30. It's your chance to walk on the outfield grass at Wrigley Field and to meet the 2007 Chicago Cubs. Tickets are $300 each. All proceeds benefit Cubs Care. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. Michael Barrett high in the air to center. And underneath is Ryan Church. John Roush 6 up, 6 down, setting up for Chad Cordero today. 3-2.
American Idol Season 1 comes down to the final 2.
Kelly's gonna win.
Justin,
Everybody's divided.
all top 10 are back. And just how close did Kelly and Justin really get?
We made a good pair up there.
American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light."
Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light.
In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that?
Bud Light, you got a problem with that.
In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes."
Give me a Bud Light, Holmes.
More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say,
"Don't speak English."
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light?
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
What up, Pete?
Yo, I got an idea.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
Well, at this point, Dimitri Young would have the game-winning hit. A pinch hit, 2-run single, turning a Cubs 2-1 lead into a 3-2 deficit. That was in the 7th inning off Bob Howery. Now we're in the 9th, and Neil Kotz will try to keep the Nationals right where they are. And he'll face the shortstop, Josh Wilson. Robert Fick after him. And then Felipe Lopez. And as we look to the bottom of the ninth, you have Cesar Torres, then a pinch hitter, and Alfonso Soriano. In certain situations, you might think about pinch hitting for his Torres, but he's reached all 3 times today: a hit, an intentional walk. He was hit by a pitch as well. And you have a pretty thin bench right now. And that's a strikeout on Wilson. He went around, according to the first base umpire, Paul Emmel.
Good job by Kotz to come immediately into the ball game, firing strikes, gets Wilson to check swing on a high fastball. Goes too far around. Good quick first out of the inning here.
You have a couple of guys from the left side, Darrell Ward and Cliff Floyd, who you would have a chance to use in the ninth against Chad Cordero. Cliff bothered by a back injury. We were told he would be available to pinch hit if needed. But if you take his Taurus out, DeRosa's already out of the game. Ronnie Cedeno was optioned back to AAA, so you don't have a shortstop if you get to extras.
You have to get real creative at that point if you get to extra innings. I'm not sure exactly what Lou would choose to do. I believe Matt Merton could probably play third base in a pinch, and you could maybe slide Ramirez over to shortstop if you got into extra innings. Lou has mentioned the fact that with the 12-man pitching staff, there will be instances when he needs to use a pitcher as a pinch runner. And you know, Jason Marquis is a guy that has kind of been tabbed as the pinch hitter, pinch runner, emergency defensive replacement if necessary on that pitching staff.
So anything can happen, but based on all the factors we just threw out at you, I think his Torres is going to lead off the bottom of the ninth in the pitcher spot, where we would probably see Darrell Ward. And Cesar's had a good day at the plate, even though he has struggled this year. He came in at 197. But he's 1 for 1 today. His average up to 210. Fouled back by Fick. The Cubs are over 500 in 2-run contests. They're now 4-3. First 2 games of this series, both decided by 2 runs. But they're still winless in games decided by 1 run. They're 0-6. And that includes 0-5 at home. Vic takes a walk. Here's Lopez batting right-handed. Cubs are also 0-11 when they trail after the 8th inning. Even good teams will have a bad record when trailing after 8, but you'd like to sprinkle in a few wins in walk-off fashion here and there.
Well, those are big victories when you can come back against an opponent's closer or set up men in the 8th inning. Those are big wins. Tough to come by, but a huge emotional lift if you can come back and beat another team's closer.
1 ball, 1 strike on Lopez. Jesus Flores on deck. He had 3 hits as he got the start at catcher yesterday. Swing and a miss and a strikeout.
Good breaking ball from Neil Kotz. It's been a pitch that's a little inconsistent for him in the early going this year. Hasn't really been able to consistently throw it over that inner third of the plate, break it down and in on the righties, down and away from the lefties, but a good pitch right there.
So Flores bats for John Roush. Ramirez will go to second. Terrio covering. Bottom 9 coming up. Cubs need 1 to tie, 2 to win.
Her name is Brandy.
She's that kind of girl. She's funky.
Her show is Moesha.
All for one and one for all. All for one, my butt. I'm out.
Her message?
Follow your own style.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN. 24 Saturdays at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
I love the way you've decorated in here.
Want to get away? Now you can. Hurry. We've extended our internet sale. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Chicago Midway to the Midwest for just $49. Purchased by May 17th.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Yes, it's time to vacation. Dollar Millionaire style.
Road trip.
With outstanding McDonald's fries and outlandish legroom. This cabin is first class all the way.
Oh, these people don't fly coach, but they're pretty fly.
They're also decked up with decadent double cheeseburgers and other dollar menu delicacies. No, they don't need a 5-star hotel. They've got $5 million.
Before we play the bottom of the ninth, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Get into some serious monkey business with a full hour of funniest pets and people. Weekends at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
So we're in the ninth, and in fact, Lou is going to pinch hit for his tourist. He's going to use Cliff Floyd, with Darrell Ward behind him, batting for the pitcher. Chad Cordero is on in a save spot for the Nationals. Well, Lou continues to play for now. Not worried about extras at the moment. If the Cubs tie it, it'll be interesting to see who plays short in the 10th. How about Floyd gets on and Ward hits a home run? Don't have to worry about extras. One ball, no strikes on Cliff. Back bothering him a little bit, so he wasn't in the starting lineup. 2-0. There weren't any middle infielders on the bench to start the ball game. That's because DeRosa played right. Terrio was at second, his tourist at short. Outside. 3-0. Yeah, if Cliff reaches, you think about that pinch running situation you brought up.
Yeah, Jason Marquis once again the most logical candidate to pinch run if Lou feels Cliff is not physically able to run the bases enough to score that tying run.
There's ball 4. Tying run is on with no outs. And Jason Marquis heading out as a pinch runner. Versatility. And the Cubs have asked that out of their pitching staff as well. And they have a couple of guys who can swing the bat off the bench, Marquis and Zambrano. And Jason used as a pinch runner.
Just for men, stay in the game.
hit.
Marquis. Hitting for the pitcher counts number 32, Darrell Ward.
Well, at this point, you're almost committed to play for 2 runs in the 9th inning rather than play for the tie. The old axiom is you play for the tie at home, you play for the win on the road. But because of the depleted bench and the depleted bullpen, I think Lou really has to take a shot to win the ball game right here in the 9th. Very little chance Ward's going to be up there to bunt. He's going to be hacking away.
Ball 1 on D. Ward. The Cubs use Jason Marquis as a pinch runner in the 14th inning against San Diego on April 17th. Chad Cordero having trouble with his command, and Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, is going to head out.
And you know what he's going to tell him?
Throw strikes.
Stop throwing balls. Man, you bring your closer in the ball game. He promptly puts the first runner on 4 pitches, falls behind the second with 2-0. You have to believe Darrell Ward will have a take until Cordero proves he can find that strike zone.
Alfonso Soriano on deck.
Yeah, that's one option we didn't really kick around when we were talking about the possibility of a tie ball game and who plays where. You can imagine Soriano moving back into the infield in an emergency only, and certainly extra innings with a depleted roster the way it is now. This would appear to be one of those emergencies.
Yeah, you could put him at second base and move Ryan Theriot to short, assuming he has an infielder's glove, although I'm sure somebody would gladly let him borrow it. Two and one.
After a visit from the pitching coach, the next pitch is right down Main Street. You know, that's actually a column on the Cubs advanced scouting report. What is the first pitch after a visit to the mound? I think that is a great nugget.
3-1. A walk to start the inning. And now he's way behind Darrell Ward. Ward facing his former team. Another former national on deck, Soriano. The pitch, it's a strike, 3-2. His pinch hitting role was one in which Ward excelled last year. He had 308 in 78 games, 104 at bats with the Nationals. Finished the year in Atlanta, also hit 308. $40,481. They're up. 3-2 pitch fouled away. The career save percentage for Chad Cordero, 84%, 95 out of 113. The 3-2, another foul. Corey Castile can't play much deeper in left. If he played any deeper, he would be on the dirt of the warning track. You can barely see him. There he is, way out there in left center. Same for Kearns in right. Driven into left, and with Castile playing deep, no chance to catch it. First and second. Big knock for Darrell Ward. So he's 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter.
A nice patient at bat by Darrell Ward. Had to take until he saw a strike from Cordero. Took a real good pitch on the 3-1 count to run it to full. Fouled off a couple of tough ones and engulfs this ball out into left center field for a clean base hit.
Castile remains almost pinned up against the wall. And they give Alfonso Soriano the entire left field corner. tip, strike one. Baby, do you change your approach as a hitter when you see a guy way out there in left center and all that room down the left field line?
I don't think you can in this situation. You just have to use that old cliche to get a good pitch to hit and hit it hard somewhere.
But he hits it the other way, and that sends Kearns in. Charging hard. He has it. Everybody holding.
Games in his career, Alfonso Soriano has only put down 8 sacrifice bunts in his career. We talked about the depleted bench, the depleted bullpen. Lou hoping that Soriano would get a pitch he could drive out of the ballpark or perhaps into the gaps. Unfortunately, pops it up in right field.
So with one out, it's Ryan Theriot. Nationals want a double play to end it. And that's how they're aligned on their infield. A pitch, a strike. He's come through in big spots. Another pitcher's strike.
Lot of room on that left field line, straight away left field. Cordero consistently working that outside corner.
Well, pitching to the alignment of his defense in the outfield. And that's the other reason you don't change your approach at the plate, right? Well, it's tough to pull a pitch that's 6 inches off the plate.
Yeah, you do try to pull that. You're probably going to end up hitting a double play ground ball to the left side of the infield.
Didn't miss by much. A keen eye by Theriot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See how close it was.
It looks like this fastball cuts a little bit out there on the outside corner. Maybe a little high as well.
Lee on deck. Cordero has a sign. And the pitch. A foul. Pitches for Chad Cordero. Mild-mannered, he was dubbed the quiet assassin at Cal State Fullerton.
Swing there. Every pitch has been on the outer third of the plate, moving over toward the outside corner. Theriot's seen a whole sequence of them here in this at bat. Has a real good swing at this one. Just misses that ball. Fouls it straight back from our Southwest RoboCam.
Be careful, guys. Still 2-2. A drive down the right field line, twisting out of play. A lot of sunshine now.
And the sun will be a problem for the guys on the right side of the infield, and Austin Kearns out there in right field. You can see the pitches all away, away, away. Some of them elevated a little bit for Ryan Theriot.
The tying run at second base is Jason Marquis. The winning run, Darrell Ward at first base. Another 2-2. Fouled off again.
That's probably the best pitch in the sequence to hit right there. Got one over the heart of the plate and down. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. That pitch tails right back to the middle of the plate. Theriot just a little out in front and underneath that pitch. Yeah, he knew he got a pitch to hit right there.
That's going to drop down. Marquis coming around. And we're tied. Ward to third, and the Cubs now have a chance to win it. Ryan Theriot comes through again.
What a good at-bat by Ryan Theriot to battle the way he did. Finally got a good pitch up in the zone, a little inside-out swing, dunks it into right center, and real good base running by Darrell Ward, a guy who usually is taken down for a pinch runner. Got a great read on that little floater, got a big jump off of first base, and goes all the way around to third.
Crowd not approving this move, but the Nationals have to do it. Going to set up a force at every base as they intentionally walk Derek Lee.
If you just look at the numbers historically, they're doing the Cubs a favor here. Derek Lee has yet to get a hit against Chad Cordero in his career. Ramos Ramirez, on the other hand, 2 for 4 with a home run. The home run coming in his most recent at bat against Chad Cordero. An extended at bat for the Riot. Really battled, fouled off some tough pitches. Cordero working him away. He finally got a pitch up over the plate a little bit. Fights it off out there into shallow right field, and you can see Darrell Ward got a jump. He's not a fast runner, but he got a good jump off of first base, easily able to advance all the way around to third.
What a great at bat for Ryan Theriot. And a pinch runner, Jason Marquis, came around to score. Bases loaded. And it's a Ramos Ramirez. Ball one. We're in a 3-3 tie. Cordero has blown his 4th save of the year. Ryan Dempster watching from the bullpen. He doesn't want to pitch in the 10th. He wants his teammates to get it done right now. 2-0. Now in this spot, you look for your pitch on a 2-0, but you look for something up a little bit that you can elevate. You don't want to hit into a double play.
Yeah, ideally, you want to get a ball you can lift in the air to the outfield here. The Nationals playing about halfway because of the lack of speed at third base.
And he hit it in the air, but foul, and back toward the seats.
From this alignment, on a hard hit ball to third, short, or second, they'd probably try to turn 2 up the middle of the field. If it was a slow hit ball, they would charge and try to get the out at the plate.
Cubs looking for their first win when trailing after 8. With 2-1 to Ramirez off the end of the bat. And it evens up the count. The winning run at third is Darrell Ward. Ryan Theriot at second base, Derek Lee at first. Everybody on their feet. Topped off the plate. Ward will be thrown out. That's the only out they'll get. And it'll be up to Jock Jones with 2 away.
There was that in-between defensive alignment, and on a slow hit ball, Nationals are going to come home all the way. Not enough time to turn a double play up the middle. Zimmerman just lets his momentum carry him right into that throw to home. Get the force play. Leave it up to Jock Jones.
So everybody back with 2 outs. Jock sitting right now at 300. Ground ball to first. Fick will take it by himself. We'll figure out what the Cubs infield will look like when we come back. Extra innings from Wrigley, a 3-3 tie.